triggers and spoilers.
Welcome back to So I Saw a Movie. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Jen.
And we
And
have
I'm
a special
Mike.
guest with us. Yes, it's Mike. Mike and I go way back. We've known each other for a few years.
Just a couple, yeah.
Yeah, just a couple. I mean, he showed up at a family function one day and he never stopped showing up.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know
a
this
hang
guy.
around
There.
Yeah.
All the time. There all the time. But we're going to do our thing where we discuss the movies that we saw because, I mean, what else would we be here? And I was elected to go first by these cowards. So...
It's true. True, we took a vote.
Yeah, I got elected. That it was true. I lost.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's fine. It's fine because then I can get mine over with, and I can just listen and kick my feet and be so happy.
Yeah.
Need some popcorn.
Aw.
I didn't even make popcorn. My microwave died.
Oh, that sucks.
It does. It sure does. Okay, so guys, so I saw a movie.
What did you see?
Is the call and response. There we go. I saw The Skulls. It is a 2001 horror action / adventure drama mystery. It has a lot of categories. I don't know why Google does that. Like, I think they check off every box that way they could be like, I'm not wrong.
It's an incredible genre.
The horror action adventure drama mystery. I know.
Oh yeah, horror action adventure drama mystery. It was real big in 2011.
It was really, yeah. It kind of reminds me of like the Chicken Bacon Ranch, like the commercial where he's like, Chicken Bacon Ranch, like you're just shoving as many things into a small phrase as possible. This sucker was directed by Rob Cohen. He also did the Fast and the Furious like later that year or something like that. And then he did the Dragonheart movie with that really terrible CGI dragon. Oh, and he worked on Miami Vice, which had people in it.
Which Miami Vice?
I don't know. The old one?
Okay.
I don't know.
Put you on the spot there.
I'm not prepared for questions. No follow-up questions. It is rated 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like 9 whole %.
Wow.
I know. Which, for perspective, Heavyweights with Ben Stiller has 50%. So if that says anything about anything.
I don't know that.
Well, Heavyweights is a tough act to follow.
It truly is. Sadly, Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls has a lower Rotten Tomato score, which is sad because it's like an actual cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, it's way better than Heavyweights.
It sure is. So our starting lineup, our characters, we've got, let's see if I can do this right. Joshua Jackson as Luke McNamara, and then also Paul Walker as Caleb Mandrake, and then we have my favorite So I Saw a Movie vocal stim, Leslie Bibb. Leslie Bibb. I walk around all the time just saying Leslie Bibb in Chauncey's voice because I'm a freak. And then we've got this guy, Hill Harper. He's in stuff. I don't know. He was like in CSI. He is Will. And we got Shooter McGavin as Martin Lombard, but I kept forgetting his name, so in my notes, I call him Shit for Breakfast.
Nice.
Because he eats pieces of shit for breakfast. And then
clever.
like our extra dude, Detective Sparrow, he's in like stuff. He's a familiar face, but he be mean mugging here. Steve Harris. So that's our lineup. And that was really fun to do with the backgrounds because we have a computer right now. I can't do that on my wall. So the movie kind of opens up, the film is being all like, oh man, I'm like cinematic and stuff. And it's like floating over like water. And there's like a dude rowing his boat. And then it has like text coming over it that's like, every year at certain Ivy League colleges, an elite group of students is chosen to join secret societies, unlike fraternities. These societies conceal their actions as they mold the leaders of the future. At least 3 U.S. presidents are known to have been members. The most powerful secret society has always been the Skulls. So it's all like, ooh, secret. But it is true. 3 U.S. presidents were in the Skulls. Bush, and Taft. So
this is real. It's not fictional.
This is based off of the Skull and Bone Society at Yale.
Okay.
So it's like a real secret society, which, considering I was able to look up that Bush, and Taft were in there, they're not doing really good at being secret.
Oh.
Yeah, secret society.
They're like, so it opens up on the lake, and then they're in a you go into a boathouse, and you're all like, I'm a floating camera, and Joshua Jackson, Luke, he is rowing on an old-timey row machine, not the ones that we have at the gym, but it's got giant gears on it, and it's made of wood. It seems terrible.
When you throw your back
you're really gonna put your back into it. And then
You're analog.
yeah, exactly. It's that's how you know they're at Yale, is because they don't have good equipment. I mean, I don't know what tuition goes to. It couldn't be their education. That's silly.
Apparently, with that video circulating online, it goes to the food. I don't know if you guys saw that thing. No.
I didn't.
There's a thing going around. There's a video where somebody took a video of just a little party they had at Yale, and it was caviar and lobster tails, and people were like, holy shit. They were like, this is where all the money that you pay tuition goes. They're extravagant ass parties.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
They're secret societies. I mean.
Mm-hmm. No, well, hold on. Secret societies.
I'm sorry. Secret society.
Well, I mean, that was a really perfect segue, because Luke is running late for work, and he's a lunch lady. So, it goes to the food.
That's not glamorous at all.
Yeah, no. So
an honest living.
He's doling out lunches to people, and then some sophomore is like, I'm a pretentious asshole, and he's like, bro, you're a pretentious asshole, and we're like, oh, you're a cool guy.
It is Yale. I bet it's full of those.
He had his sweater tied in a little knot around his neck, it's on his shoulder.
Like Freddie. Freddie in the gang.
Yeah,
that's a pretentious asshole move.
That it really is. Just wear your sweater or don't. I don't understand. Is it so that you could show us that you purchased an additional item of clothing? Is that a flex? I don't understand.
No, it's the style, Court.
Dude, I'm poor. I wear my clothes. There you go. I mean, if I have a sweater, I'm not gonna tie it around my neck. I'm gonna fucking wear it. But that's the difference between me and fucking bajillionaires, is neck sweaters.
Yeah, you just don't get it. You don't have enough capital to get it.
I sure don't. And neither does Luke, because he's a poor folk. So he's referred to as a townie. His mom died when he was hella young, and his dad was nowhere to be found. So he's just he was a misguided youth before he came to Yale. And he got in on a scholarship for rowing his boat. And it took me seriously half of the movie to remember that the sport name is called crew. Because I was like, what the fuck is the sport where they just row? They're on a boat and they're just going. It's called crew. And that's a rich person sport. So I don't know how this townie got a boat to row to land a scholarship. So there's some blanks here, but he's down to earth, and he earns his money, and he's got scholarships and part-time jobs, and he still can't afford it. And he's talking to his friend Will about how he's going to be $200,000 in debt as a lawyer when he graduates. And we're oh my god, relatable, am I right? They're in their dorm, and they're throwing around those old Vortex Nerf footballs. And they're talking about the secret society. Do you remember those? They used to whistle when you threw them. And I was like, oh my god, I remember that. Jen, this was probably before your time.
I've definitely seen those. Because they always had Nerf, and they always made weird balls. They would just take something standard. And
that's their slogan, actually.
Yeah. Nerf.
That's their slogan.
Got weird balls.
Yeah, absolutely.
We make weird balls. That was their tagline for a long time. They're talking about all these secret societies, and apparently, like, Luke was scouted for a couple of them, but he kept saying no. But like the skulls, that one pays your tuition. So he was like holding out for that one, I guess, and he's talking to his roommate Will, and they're like, "What do you think you're gonna get a call? I don't know. I don't know if they like me. I'm shy." And then they sit down for pizza, and Leslie Bibb brings in like a tofu pizza or some bullshit. I don't fucking know.
Sounds delicious.
That seems
What's the problem?
really disgusting. As someone who ate a lot of tofu in her life, I could not imagine putting it on a pizza. Like,
what are we talking?
Was it a topping or was it the crust?
Fried?
I want to say it was a topping because, like, if having a tofu crust, it wouldn't stay crispy. It would just be like it would just be like a sad trombone pizza slice.
I mean, people
yeah,
put
Jen's right.
pineapple on
It depends
pizza.
on the.
I'm sorry.
Well, pineapples are great.
Yeah,
pineapple on pizza is amazing.
Tofu is also
Pizza
great.
I know, but
pizza?
it doesn't. But it's like
Why not?
tofu doesn't taste like anything. It's not adding anything to it except for protein. Which,
But
if
it
you're
is a
buying a
topping.
pizza, you're not going to like check off that box. Like,
You know what? Honestly, you're winning me over on having it on as a pizza topping as you protest it.
You know, I mean, extra protein.
Protein doesn't taste like anything. Like,
Yeah, I mean, because you know what? I don't like pepperoni. If there's an option for tofu, I would totally pick that over. Some people get mushrooms.
People say tofu picks up the flavor of whatever you cook it in, so it'll just taste like pizza. So
it'll
it's
taste
a
like
pizza
pizza.
flavored.
How can you argue with
Pizza and
double the
cardboard.
pizza flavor?
Pizza and cardboard.
I
Double
like-
pizza.
I
It's like a
want soggy
clone.
pizza topping. That sounds great.
All right. Well, while they're eating their soggy pizza toppings, you guys are weird. He gets a phone call, and it's like a mysterious voice. It's like, "Go to the payphone outside in 10 minutes." And he's like, "Oh, I got it." Like, he runs and he gets on his little bicycle. And he's like, "Ring, ring, 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 get out of my way. Ring, 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 ring." And then the payphone rings, and he picks it up, and they're like, "The solarium, 2 seconds." And he's like, "Ah!" And he like runs across, and they're like the thing was also like, "Lose the bike." And he's like, the subtext there was like, "You fucking nerd." And then like he goes to the solarium, and then that phone rings, and he's trying to find it, and it's a cell phone like in a fucking paper mache model of Jupiter. And then he picks that up, and then he's like, "The windowsill." And then he looks at the windowsill, and there's like a beverage there that says, "Drink me." So he drinks it because that's a safe thing to do. And like he's tripping balls. During this, you see another perspective where someone's taking photos of him through the window. So it's safe to assume that that's whoever the hell is leading him through this fucking spirit journey. So he is like, woo, and he gets all woozy, and then he blacks out, and then he wakes up, and it shows us like this big underground room. I wouldn't call it a basement, maybe a basement, but it had a really tall ceiling. And then there was like all water on the bottom, so it kind of looked sewerish, but that definitely didn't smell bad because it's Yale. They don't poop there.
Yale sewer just smells like Yale sewer smells like a rose garden.
100%. That's what they pay for. They have their very own water treatment.
It's where they put all their DEI applicants. They put in the sewer smelling business.
So they're in the good smelling sewers, and like it pans out, and there's like just like a group of coffins, and they're like really expensive coffins. This ain't no fucking pine box. This is like we went to the funeral home and got their finest coffins and bought them so we could put students in there while they're alive. So all of these drug students are in the coffins, and they all kind of get out, and they're like, "Oh my god, where am I? Oh my god." And they're on their own little like coffin island. And then they go to the last box, which isn't opening, and they're like, "Fuck, did he like react poorly to the drugs?" And then they all get close, and they're like, "Hello, who's in here?" And then like it just busts open, and then Paul Walker comes out like, "Where can I get more of those drugs?" And everyone's like, "Ah ha 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 ha, Paul Walker, you're so silly, ah ha 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 ha." And then these like hooded people in red hooded cloaks or fucking whatever, they show up on these like parapets into this sewer basement, and they were like, this is the skulls, and then like, you gotta do a bunch of stuff for the initiation, and like, we're like a skull above any other, and they're all like a skull above any other because secret societies and cults have a severe overlap. And then they're like, no outsider should know the work of the order or the composition of its membership. They're like, Roger that, secret. So their initiation is to steal mascots, and I guess there's like one more left from the other secret societies. Again, for secret societies, very bad at being secret. So they have to go to the Snake and Skeleton Society and steal their python mascot, and they're not really sure what it is. They're thinking it's the actual animal, and like one guy is like, "Is the python poisonous?" And I'm like, I thought you guys were from fucking Yale. Like, no, it'll just eat you.
They just got there. They didn't get to Python's class yet.
They're seniors. Seniors. They're supposed to be smart. And then like the hooded figure person dude is like, a snake without scales shows its veins. You have until dawn. We have been watching. We will be watching. Stupid. 9%. Just remember, 9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
A snake without scales shows its veins. I'm hung up on that.
It's disgusting. It's nasty.
Scales are skin adjacent, so
right.
Creature without skin would show its veins. There's nothing in between.
It's just gross.
Right.
It's nasty.
It's gross. So
side note, are all secret societies bone related? Skull and bones, snake and skeletons?
I should have looked that up because I was thinking something similar. I'm like, they really like skeletons. So she's like,
pirates.
Are you guys pirates? Or is it pirates? Or are you guys like fucking emo kids? And you're like, nice. I got my skull and crossbones. I got my Jolly Roger because I know what it's called. Like,
for the sake of this movie, my headcanon is going to be that yes, they are all bone. That just makes it more enjoyable for me.
That's fair. That's fair. I respect that. So they go to the secret society building there because I guess they're all like on campus secret society. So it's not even like going to another school to steal their mascot. It's just like, oh yeah, snake guys are next door. No big deal. So they walk like 6 feet and they get to that building, and then it has a moat with no drawbridge. So Paul Walker's like, I'm gonna jump the moat. So he jumps over the moat. Obviously he makes it because he's Paul Walker. He's too fast, too furious. And he's like, the door is locked. And then Joshua Jackson's like, I can help with that. And he jumps over the moat and he's like picking the lock. And they're like, how do you know how to do that? And he was like, time of a misspent youth. I was a real menace to society because, he's the townie. He's the kid that was like, I was a latchkey kid and I didn't have a mom or a dad. So I learned how to pick locks.
As one does.
I mean, I had a mom and a dad, and I still learned how to pick locks, so I don't know. I don't know.
Can't people have hobbies? I mean, what's the problem?
Can't people break and enter anymore? I mean, really. So they get in there, and they're looking around, and then they're like, snake without scales shows its face. And they go outside, and they look up, and it's the weather vane that they have to steal, and it's like snakes on both sides of the weather vane. So that was stupid. They scale the building and they end up on the top of the building and they're trying to get this iron weather vane out of the building. So Paul Walker and fucking Joshua Jackson are just like, here. And then of course it's gonna give at a very inconvenient time where your footing isn't exactly right. And again, I'm still not following. They scaled this building in dress shoes. Not sneakers.
Aggressive.
Dress shoes.
Well, they are from
There's
Yale.
no traction on those.
There's zero traction on those. Like, you have to, like, don't you have to, like, make the traction on those? Like, you have to, like, wear them in order to not, like, slip and slide across the floor, right?
Busted my ass on many a wedding dance floor to know that do not have any.
Yeah, like, so they scaled a building with no traction. They're on this very, like, pitched roof in dress shoes, just
they have
taking
Batman
a weather.
shoes. You know, they're rich
Dude,
people.
they must have like little fingers on them. Like
Yeah.
they're just like, that's okay, I got it.
That's part of their
So
welcome package.
finger shoes.
Is like a Batman style utility belt, including
for your
honestly,
secret
just in case.
societies.
Right, should you get invited to one, because you got to be cool for that. So they go through it and they're like heave hawing, and on Paul Walker's pull, it gives. So he slips off the side of the roof. So we've got how old are you when you're a fucking senior in college? 21, 22? She have like a 22-year-old man, an iron weather vane, and Joshua Jackson grabs one side of the roof and catches both of them on the other side. Bro, your shoulder is no longer located where it needs to be.
Some would say it's
dislocated
from where it used to be.
Indeed. You're not wrong, Mike. You're not wrong. So he's like, oh my god, and then Paul Walker's like, don't let go of me, and then they do like the perspective warp where they're like, whoa, the moat's so far away, and then it's like, and his little fingies are like, oh no, I'm tired, and then like he lets go. So they slip off, and then they end up in the moat, and the moat is apparently deep enough that they didn't break any bones falling into it. And then they're like, yeah, we got it, everything's great. And so, finally the next morning, Luke goes back to his room, and Chloe and Will are like, oh, where were you? And he's like, nowhere. And they're like, are you a skull? And he's like, I don't know what's a skull. What's a skull? I have a skull. Is that what you asked? You have a skull. We all have skulls. Does that answer your question sufficiently? And then like his friend Will gets like mood swing weird, like out of nowhere. He's like, oh, I can't believe that you would hang out with these people. And it's like, you guys were just talking about how they would pay your tuition, that you were going to be $200,000 in debt. Yeah, I'm hanging out with these people. If I could get out of Yale with zero debt, fuck, if I could get out of community college with zero debt, I'm doing it. Like,
Absolutely.
Again, I'm poor. I wear my clothes. Like, so, and then Will's like, no, well, what happens if we're at wherever the fuck, and like, you're sitting with me, and then they all look, and do you leave to sit with them? Like, and he's like, bad. And it's like, bro, literally the last scene you were in, you were talking about how cool it would be if he got indicted into the club. So why are you flippity floppity?
He's just jelly.
He's mad jelly. He didn't get picked, and now he has a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, he gets all like fucking shitty and shit, and like when he's like getting ready to storm out, and he's like, wait, no, and then the phone rings, and then Will picks it up, and it's of course Caleb, and then Will's like, it's for you, and he takes it. He's like, I gotta take this. He's like, oh, unbelievable, and he storms out, and I was like, oh my god, what in the crazy girlfriend are you? Like just chill. And then Luke turns to Chloe, and he's like, yeah, I gotta take that, and she's like, oh my god, and then she leaves too, and I'm like, I don't understand.
Off City.
You for real, like they're, oh my god, I can't believe it. Oh my god, we're your friends. I was like, all right, yeah, great, but are you paying tuition? No, I don't think so. So Caleb is like, hey, check under your pillow. And so he looks under his pillow. There's like this black like jewelry looking box, and it has like a skull medal, like a race medal. I don't or like a presidential medal of honor given secondhand. And like there's like a card that says 8:00 tonight, and apparently you're supposed to know what the fuck that means. So they all meet up at the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse at 8:00, and they're all like super snazzy. They're in their best clothes, and they get welcomed in by like this judge bro, whose last name is also Mandrake, so he's Caleb's dad. And they arrange everybody in pairs, and they call them soulmates. So each soulmate is meant to complement one another and accept responsibility for the other. I know, they got like, you get your boyfriend.
It's so adorable.
It's so nice. It's like, when all else fails, you have your secret society soulmate that was assigned to you like a prearranged marriage. Um,
This is Caleb. He's my assigned rock.
he's my soulmate. You don't understand. Like,
He's the wind beneath my wings.
did you see him? He's so dreamy, and his
So
dad is
cute.
a judge. Tell me you could do better.
I'm looking finance. Six Flags. What is it?
There
Blue
we
eyes.
go. Blue eyes, and he checks all the boxes, babes. Like,
Yeah.
So they're given watches, and then they're like, the connection between you guys is eternal. Let this seal the bond between you. Be silent as you endure. So they bring out these like fucking branding irons and they brand them on the wrist. And I am thinking that they really fucking suck at this whole keep your members quiet thing because you can see someone's wrist. And now there's a brand of a skull on it. Like, if you wanted it to be a secret, brand their ass. Few people see that. Like,
Depends on your
so
lifestyle, but true.
I mean, that is true, but obviously they didn't do it because they would have had to pay Paul Walker a lot more. They get branded and they, we live by the rules, we die by the rules. Here's a rule book. There's something for everything in here. Every possible situation has a rule and a solution. This comes in handy later, whatever. And then like the judge goes to his son Caleb and he's like, this is the proudest day of my life. And then he's like, thanks, Dad. I want to make you proud. And then they hug and Luke is like, I don't have a dad. So it's like, latchkey kid's sad. No money and no dad. Whew, tough.
Ouch. Double whammy.
Double whammy.
It's tough. It's tough. So then like, Luke brings flowers over to Chloe as like a fucking like, hey, I got a peace offering, and she's like, you just ripped those out from in front of the dean's office, but thanks. And then they go out to dinner and he checks his bank account. He's like, let's see if this is like $20 or like $30 for dinner. Like, and he checks it and there's like 10 grand and there's 20 grand in his account. And he's like, oh my God, I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm wealthy. I'm independent. Like, and then he's like skipping down the fucking street. The guys all get reassigned dorm situations. They get these really fancy suites. And then they have to go to a fancy pants dinner. And, Luke is struggling with his bow tie because he didn't grow up fancy. He's a townie. So Caleb comes in at the right moment. He's like, oh, do you need help with your bow tie? And he's like, thanks, honey. I really did. You knew just the right time. You really are my soulmate. And he ties his tie and then they kiss. No, they don't kiss. But they
They're thinking about it.
They were. There's definitely a bond between them. Keith. So they go to the stupid fucking dinner thing with the caviar. It's the dinner with the caviar that we were talking about. And they meet, he meets up with the judge, and then the judge introduces his soulmate, which is a senator, and the judge invites him over for Thanksgiving. He's like, well, what do you normally do at Thanksgiving? And he was like, well, last year I was at a Pizza Hut. And then like the judge is like, great, buddy. Cool. That's excellent. Come with us. We go hunting. We eat what we shoot. So if you don't shoot anything, you're just gonna get really fucking drunk. But that's okay. Caleb is a great shot. He'll provide for you. Then they talk to the senator, and like the senator is like, hey, we're waiting on your grad school application. Luke's like, bruh, I'm poor. And he's like, well, I'm on the committee, so whatever you want, we'll make it happen. And then he's like, what are your plans, Caleb? And Caleb's like, well, I don't know. I'm just treading water. I'm the cool guy. And like his dad is like, yeah, your arm's supposed to be fucking tired. And he's like, well, they're tired, Dad, because you keep throwing me into the deep end of the pool. And it's like, oh my God, wipe your tears with your money. I don't feel bad for you. So then, Luke goes and he walks off with the senator and he's like, what's the giant word war in the ritual room? And then like the senator is like, those who wish to become our leaders choose the ordeal of war to prove themselves worthy of the privilege. And there are always wars to be fought. And then he's like, here's my number if you want to just, shoot the proverbial shit. And he's like, Right on, Senator. You're a real cool guy. I love hanging out with fucking stuffy old white men. Um, but like Caleb's dad and the senator had some tension, and it was all like political shit. Even though they were soulmates, they're just like we're on the outs. He's like he's in the doghouse. So they're at the party, and then like all of a sudden a bunch of like girly pops come in, and they're all in these like beautiful slutty dresses, and like all of a sudden, because it's 2001, you get to hear diddly 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 diddly, and it's fucking Creed comes on, and the dun 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 dun, and then here comes Scott Stapp, so you get to listen to the entire song higher because it's 2001. So that's probably the peak of the film is Scott Stapp.
That's half of the score right there.
That's like the whole thing. He was the music producer, and he was just like, play it again. So you know, they do like rich boy shenanigans. You know, he this one girl approaches him, and she's like, "You're Luke," and he's like, "How do you know my name?" And she's like, "I know everything about you," and he didn't find that concerning at all. So he's like, "Cool, let's dance," and I was like, my brother in Christ, you're ignoring a lot of red flags here. And then like Caleb leaves with a girl on each arm because he's a hot playboy, and then he's like, "Hey, get that pussy, bitch!" Like, and then he's like, "That's my soulmate," you know. And then like the next day, they're doing like rich boy shenanigans. They're all on their like independent boats going to this fucking parking lot, and they were like gifted sports cars. It was fucking crazy. But then, you know, Luke had to go to crew practice, and Will missed practice, and Will's been busy. He's got a secret. He's just, you can have secrets. Can I have secrets too? He's being like mad petty, like petty level a million, like probably worse than me, and I'm pretty fucking petty. So then like, it cuts over to Caleb, and he's like, I guess finishing up boxing practice or something. He's just like in the locker room, like fucking shadow boxing without a shirt, because I guess it's a thing that men do. Can you confirm?
Can confirm. Yep.
Can confirm. Okay, perfect. So when he goes to leave, his brand new fancy pants sports car was broken into. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. At the beginning of initiation, they were all given these gigantic skeleton keys. Like, it kind of reminded me of Gold Member's Ding Dong. And they were told not to lose them. So they got their stupid little rule books, and then they got Gold Member's Peeper. And they're not allowed to lose either of those things. The Ding Dong is to open up the clubhouse. So Caleb goes, and he sees his car is broken into, and he's like rummaging through it. He's like, "Oh my god, no. And his rule book and his ding dong were both missing. So he's a man without a peep in the world, panicking as they do when they lose their peeps. Just nothing.
I don't want to think about that. It's a situation I'd rather not be in.
I mean, you're on a females podcast, man. So he's like, "Oh fuck," and then he calls Luke, and he's like, "Luke, can I borrow your you-know-what, because I left it you-know-where?" And we're all like, nobody knows where you left your dick, bro. So he's like, "Sure, it's fine." And I'm like, I would have like significant follow-up questions, because if they're like, "Don't lose this key, don't let it out of your sight," I would be like, "Nah, I'll just come in and let you in, because clearly you're not responsible enough to carry your own key." So Caleb goes in, and he walks into the clubhouse, and it cuts to further in, like in the ritual room, and Will is there. Will had stolen the key, and he's taking photos, and he's like recording himself. He's like, "Note to self, there's a word war in the ritual room. Note to self, I don't have as much money as these dudes. Note to self, they're a bunch of pretentious assholes, and I didn't need them anyway. Like, note to self, like, I'm not salty, you're salty." Like, so he's going through doing this fucking like expose on both the skulls and his feelings. And then like Caleb is like, "Hey, well, you took my key, and you took my book." And like Will is like, you wanna give me my stuff? And he's like, nah. And he's like, yeah, no, you're gonna give me your camera, and you're gonna give me my book, and you're gonna give me my key, and we're gonna just pretend like nothing happened. Cool. And then like Will's like, all right, well, I could give you the camera, and I can give you the key, but I don't have the book. Where the fuck? What did you do with the book? How did you yeet the book in the time it took Caleb to get there? Like, what? Bud. So Caleb's like, all right, cool. And he goes over to get the key. And then Will takes his camera. Of course, the flash is on because he's a terrible photographer. And he's like, flash in the face. And he throws it to the key and he runs away. And he's like, and then Caleb runs after him and he's like, hey, wait, stop! And then they struggle up the stairs and he's like, oh no, I got him. And then they're throwing fists and oh god, they both suck at fighting. And like, Caleb was a boxer, so like theoretically this should have been over pretty fucking fast. And then they get up to the top, and the way that the ritual room is, it's like there's like a big opening, and then you go and there's like one of those staircases that go around the outside, and then there's like a platform where you can exit. So they're fighting on the platform, and then like Will slips off the edge and Caleb grabs his shoe and he slips out of his shoe and he falls and he's dead. But we don't know that yet because I kind of fucked it up a little bit. But so then we like fast forward like maybe like 20 minutes to Luke, who's like in his dorm room, and he's like, hey Will, where are you? And he's like, I don't see my bro. And so he goes to the school newspaper place. I don't remember what anything in college is called. So, and then he opens the door and Will is hanging from the ceiling. Oh my god, he killed himself. What? I mean, I ruined this, so it's not exactly surprising. So, he killed himself, guys. Be surprised.
Oh my god, he killed himself.
Oh, I know.
Crazy.
And then, like, Luke is like, oh my god, he's like, I know, it's just crazy. Will is like, he was the last person to do this. And then like the cops come and they're like dusting for prints, and they're like, did you touch anything other than the doorknob? And he's like, the fuck, I don't fucking know. How many times have you walked into your dead best friend? I mean, maybe I touched everything, maybe I licked everything. Like, you can't be held responsible when you're under duress.
Do not come by and lick all my shit.
Yeah, that's an interesting stress response, to just lick everything you see.
It won't taste good. I promise you that right now. I can guarantee it.
Like this cat scratching post.
Awful texture.
This litter box.
Oh no.
Grady. So Detective Sparrow is like, why are you here at 3 o'clock in the morning? And he's like, I'm always here. He's like, at 3 o'clock in the morning? He's like, well, we had a fight and I hadn't heard from him. He's like, oh, what was the fight about? He's like, nothing.
Tell me more. I'm a detective.
He's like, well, I'll be in touch, unless you want to get in touch with me. And he's like, what are you trying to say? He's like, well, nothing. In case you want to chat about stuff. Nothing at all. And then Pieces for Shit for Breakfast comes in.
Finally.
Yeah, Shit for Breakfast comes in. And he is apparently the college provost. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. I didn't Google it. I got nothing. I have no idea what that word is.
It sounds fancy, so I assume it's important.
It sure does. And I guess it means that he works with the college because he says college provost, not just provost or club provost or, Applebee's provost. Like, like they use the word college, so I think he has like special access to college stuff. So Pieces of Shit for Breakfast comes in and he's like, do you want to leave him alone? He's been through enough. And then like the detective is like, all right. Sure. Call me. And so Chloe shows up and gives him a hug, and then Caleb is like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And then Luke is like, what am I gonna tell his mother? And then he walks away, and then it like pans over to Caleb, who's looking very like pensive, very like, oh no, I mean, what are you gonna tell his mother? This is a surprise to everyone. Everybody's surprised about this. So they're all like cleaning out his dorm because they move fast. They gotta fucking fill that seat. Um, they've got some late admissions that were waitlisted that gotta come in. There's now an opening.
Yeah. Some of the kids that
So
were busy making the sewers smell nice finally get their way up.
moving on up.
Mhm.
So they're clearing out a bookshelf, and then like these envelopes slide out from one of them, and the movers are like, "Do you want us to take these, or do you want to keep them?" And he's like, "I don't know what the fuck they are. This isn't my house." So he goes and he looks at the envelopes, and one of them has Caleb's rule book. So he was able to hide the rule book before he even got to the fucking. Like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't. How fast are you, sir? Um, and then the other folder had photos of Luke during his initiation, so he was the one taking the pictures. And then Luke goes to talk to Chloe, and Chloe's like, "Yeah, he was doing a piece for the paper. He made me promise not to tell you." And then she's like, "Maybe if we were more communicative friends, this wouldn't have happened." And it's like, you guys suck. Do you know that? You know that? You guys suck. So, uh, then there's like, at like his funeral, like Luke is a pallbearer and Caleb is there, and he's like, "Yeah, you're dead." Like I don't even know why he was there. They weren't friends. Like maybe he was there to support his soulmate, his love, his flame. And then like afterwards, like they're like Chloe and Luke are talking, and she's like, "I lied, Will lied, and now you're lying," and she storms out, and it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. And then like the detective comes in, and he's like, "Chloe said what you and Will were fighting about, and that there was a contusion on Will's head. Do you know that people who hang themselves and die from hanging themselves don't have a fatal contusion on their heads before they hang themselves? Like, did you know that like dead men can hang themselves? Like, did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that, Luke? You're smart. You're in college. Did you know? Did you?" And then Luke is like, "I don't fucking know, bro." So the next meeting with the Skulls, he notices all of the security cameras, and now he's got a mission. He's got to get that footage. He's like, "I need to know what happens to my bestie." Like, so they're doing the last stage of admission into the Skulls. It's called the revealing process. And they basically get locked into this fucking circular cage with their soulmate, and they ask them questions, and they have to answer truthfully, and only after both parties are satisfied with their action, like the answers, they can get out of the cage. So they're like, "Who wants to go first?" And Luke's like, "We do, we do, we want to go first." And like Caleb's like, "What?" Like, so they go in the cage, and they get like brought down into this weird fucking room, because there's a room for everything, and the other people can still hear them. So like Caleb is like, "What scares you?" And Luke is like, "I'm scared I'm always going to be a loner because my mom died and my dad was nowhere to be found. And now, funny enough, my bestie fucking killed himself, even though he'd never do that." And
Way the
then like
trauma dump.
Caleb's like, "Cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool, great, cool." And then he's like, "So Caleb, what's the worst thing you ever did?" And he's like, and he's like, "Come
There
on,
you go.
Caleb. What's the worst thing you ever did?" He's like, "I had an affair with my mom's best friend." And he's like, "Caleb, what's the worst thing you ever did?" Like he doesn't get his answer. And he's like, "I know you're fucking lying. I know you're fucking lying." So then, he fully believes that Caleb kills Will. So he shows Caleb the book that he found at Will's, and then like Caleb's like, "Thank you. I lost this, and I wondered where it went." And it was like that was exactly how he said it. He's like, it was like a script. It was like a script and a terrible actor. And then like Shit for Breakfast comes in, and he's like, "The chairman wants to see you guys." And the chairman's like, "Well done." And he's like, "Don't give me your well done. I want the truth." And then Jack Nicholson busts through the door. He's like, "You can't handle the truth." And then he leaves. And then he's like, "Well, Caleb, your soulmate has the right to learn the truth." And it's like, y'all are fucking traumatic. So Caleb recounts the events and says, ultimately it's an accident. Like, he fell. There was nothing I could do. And then the judge is like, "He was a thief and he trespassed where he didn't belong." shit happens. And then, like, Luke is like, why the fuck are you covering this up? And they're like, well, you know, the whole secret society thing, right? Like, and also I'm a judge and I want to go up for the Supreme Court. So, you know, my son being part of this would probably not be the best look for me. So he hands Luke a pre-acceptance and he was like, here's a pre-acceptance to the law school of your choice. And we're going to pay that tuition. Just shut up. And then he's like, I don't know. The way I would be sold. Like, the way I would be sold. I'd be like,
well, damn.
I mean, what's he gonna do? Want me? Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You're already dead. Like, I'm like, all right, well, that's fine. Like, I can deal with you haunting me in my mansion. You know, I could pay for a really good psychologist. Exactly. Like, you know, I could pay for therapy with this money. So, you know, he's rowing, but this time he's rowing angrily. He's like, oh, I gotta work out these emotions because I'm upset. And then he goes to meet with the senator because, you know, the senator's like, hey, man, if you need anything, pew, 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 pew. And the senator was like, you know that I know about this whole cover-up, right? Like, you know, I'm on the council. They can't fart without all of us knowing. Like, and then he was like, welcome. And they were like, they don't want the secret to come out and derail the agenda of the Supreme Court or fucking whatever judges graduate into. And he was like, wouldn't you like your life back, Luke? And then he's like, I have more.
Being a real stick in the mud about this.
He really is. He's not budging. The only thing he has is morals. That's it. No money, no bestie, morals. That's it.
No money, no bestie, no bitches, morals.
No bitches, morals. That's all he's got, and $200,000 worth of debt. So,
it's like the worst character build ever.
Honestly, he's choosing all the wrong fucking options. He's not playing this game to win.
That's terrible.
So he goes to his old friend's house, and they're like a bunch of deadbeats. You see them in one of the first scenes in the film that they just stole a car, and they're like, yeah, we stole his car, and they're like, okay, and he's like, oh, you're a snooty toots yell guy, and so like there's that whole divide between like, you know, being a menace to society and being a snooty toots yell kid. So he goes to his old friend's house with a case of beer as a peace offering for missing his friend's birthday, and they're like, why are you here? You should be with your real friends. And then he was like, I need your help. And then he was like, I have this fucking like 19 whatever the fuck Mustang or whatever the fuck. I don't know cars. It was red. I have this red car. And if you can help me with this, I will give you this red car. And they're like, wow, we really like the color red. We will definitely do this for the red car. So they break into Mickey Mouse's clubhouse and they put into like little like pin cameras that like turn corners without getting spotted. So they're following the security guard that's changing out all the surveillance tapes, and they got their little like beep, 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 beep. And they see that there's like a bajillion tapes that get switched out twice a day, and like this is like a whole fucking operation. So when they, you know, the security guard leaves, they're like, okay, he's going to the east wing, derbity, and then like one of the other friends is like, roger that, derbity, he's going over here, derbity, and they're like, right, come to the library, derbity, and like they go into the library, and Luke follows them in the library, and then they go in like this special section of fucking dusty ass books or fucking whatever, and it goes up a circular staircase, which those things really scare me. So he goes up there with no fear, which is amazing. And so they get up there and he's like, oh, the guy's gone. Gone. And then he gets back to his dorm and Caleb beats the shit out of him. Dude, what the fuck? And then he was like, stop following shit for breakfast's people. If you keep digging, you're gonna dig your own grave. They know everything we do. I'm bugged, you're bugged, everyone's bugged. And then he's like, Chloe, that fucking bitch that you like, yeah, she's bugged too. Nobody. She's like, you know, I didn't mean to hurt your friend. Don't give them a reason though. They're gonna kill you. And then he meets up with Chloe and he's like, so I have this friend that's in a pickle and he regrets joining a secret society called the Skulls, and his name is me, and I have a pickle. What would you do if you had a friend in a pickle? And then she's like,
pathetically.
you this friend of mine, real pickle, and then your mutual friend just hung himself, but not really. I don't think he really, like if you have a friend like that, what would you maybe tell
It's
him?
totally not me. Totally not me. It was
Not
my
me.
friend.
No. This is my friend.
No,
This is
no.
my friend from like my latchkey days. This, he's also the prime suspect in the prime.
My
Not
friend
me.
Duke.
Yeah,
My
Duke.
friend
It's Duke.
Duke.
That's my friend Duke, not me. I mean, I know our names sound pretty similar, but it's not the same. And then like Chloe is like, you need to tell me the truth. And he's like, you can't handle the truth. And then it cuts to like
Jack Nicholson comes back in.
he comes back in. He's like, no. I'm like, you can't handle the truth. And he leaves again. He's still just looking for Tom Cruise. He's like, I need to yell this at somebody. So it cuts and the judge wants to remove Luke from the skulls because duh. Like, and then he was like, you want us to choose your son, like, the senator's like, you want us to choose your son over McNamara. That's fucked. So like the judge calls for Luke to like he calls a vote to have Luke psychologically evaluated at their hospital, which means that they could fudge all the paperwork. The vote has to be unanimous, but the senator blocks it. And then the judge calls Senator to speak privately. And they go into like a chamber, and Shit for Breakfast comes in and gives him a file that shows proof of an affair that he was having with a 19-year-old. And he was like, your wife and voters aren't gonna like this, so let's say we do another vote. Well, that one fucking passed. So Luke is at lunch and Chloe storms into the lunchroom and she makes a huge scene because she's like, you wrote this chicken shit letter to break up with me. I can't believe you spineless piece of shit. And then like everyone in the lunchroom's like, yeah, girl power, you're amazing. Yeah, you tell him, girl. Like, yeah, bestie. Like, know your worth. And like Caleb is like, smart play, Lucas. Smart play. Because obviously it was a fucking ruse. And then he goes to Chloe's apartment and he turns all the music on and they turn on the shower and so they couldn't be heard. And she's like, my family can help you. And then they're like yelling at each other in the bathroom, which completely defeats the purpose of the music and the water to not be heard by the bugs. And then she's like, well, I'm in love with you. And then they get all kissy and they have sex in the steamy bathroom because of course they do. And then like they're going to look into the guard again. So now they have a second plan to do the same thing that they failed at the first time. So there's a secret passage in the library, and then he opens it up and Luke rushes him, maces him, and sees how many tapes there are stored there. So he tries to steal the relevant ones for that night, and he gets in a fight with the guard, and he actually had a taser, so he tases him in the fucking nuts. And then he runs away. And as he's running on the streets, he's getting chased by a Jeep. And the Jeep is trying to get him. It's driven by Shit for Breakfast. And then, like, they get him in a corner. They point a gun at him. And then Luke's friends have these fucking clown masks on. And they ambush them from above. Like, this is a fucking operation here. And then, like, they knock them all out. And then they LoJack the Jeep. And then Chloe's driving the getaway car. And then they go back to their friend's house in the shitty area where Shit for Breakfast won't show up because ew, poor. And they play back the tape. And the tape is play by play, exactly how Caleb said it would be. And it shows that Caleb wanted to call the police. He calls his dad. He's like, Dad, I killed someone in the ritual room. And his dad is like, so? And he's like, I want to call the police. And like, he didn't want to leave Will there, and his dad made him leave. And as he leaves, you see on the tape that Will is still alive, and he's groaning, and he's moving. And then Shit for Breakfast and his guys come in, and they approach him, and he's like, help me, that really fucking hurt. And Shit for Breakfast is like, yep, he's pretty far gone, sir. And he goes and he cracks his neck, like, gone. Worst chiropractic adjustment ever.
Or best.
It released all of his tension.
All of his tension is gone. Like,
As
so
in the tension holding his body together.
That's the tension. It is gone. That he is slack. So they carry Will away and they take all of his stuff, and so now like like Luke is kind of like, I felt like Luke was in a rock and a hard place because these are judges, senators, college provosts. Because I know what that means. And you go to the cops and it's like, well, are you also part of this whole situation? And that's what I was thinking, because I was like, I've seen enough stupid ass man movies to know that the cops are obviously in on it. So he goes to the cops, and Caleb has the best timing in the whole wide world, and he was already there. And he was like, I couldn't live with myself. I told him everything. And Luke's like, oh my God, you did? He's like, yeah, I told him all about how you killed Will in the ritual room. And he's like, that's not, that's not, that. And he's like, no, you gotta believe me, you guys. No, you guys, I have the tape. You gotta believe me. And so Detective Sparrow takes the tape and he's like, fine, we're gonna get this, AV club room ready or fucking whatever, and we're gonna watch the tape. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna watch the tape, and I'm not gonna be a suspect no more, and everything is gonna be great, and there's gonna be justice for my friend, and then I'm gonna be poor again, and everything will be right with the world. So he goes into the AV room, and they play the tape, and it's just static. Just static. And he's like, no, there was a video. I just saw it, and like my ass is like, man, you didn't make copies, did you? So
Always make copies.
always make copies.
Nobody ever makes copies.
Nobody makes copies these days. So he's freaking out, and they've already kind of staged it to look like he's paranoid schizophrenic. So he's like, it really looks like a fucking paranoid breakdown. He's like, no, they're trying to frame me. They're after me. They're gonna kill me. You switch the tape. You're in on this. What do you know? And then he like assaults the detective. I'm like, bad move. So they he was like, oh, what do they got on you, Sparrow? Why are you doing this? I'm so innocent. And then they call up and like they take him away in a stretcher. They're totally taking him to a psych hospital. They have to sedate him. They sedate him pretty fucking heavily because he's like fucking freaked. And then like it cuts to Caleb again in the fucking locker room shadowboxing, as we know men do.
Yep.
Confirmed. Right, yes. And Chloe walks in because apparently locker room doors don't affect her. And she's like, I saw the tape, Caleb. And he's like, what? And then she's like, dude, you could just like help. Just like tell the police the truth. And it's like, girl, why would he ever do that? Like, honestly, like really, truly. And then he's like, fuck you. And then she's like, all right, well, you know what? Caleb, the most interesting thing I saw on that tape was that Will wasn't dead when you left. And Caleb's like, what? What? And then on her way out, someone like fucking sneaks up from her behind and is like, does this smell like chloroform? And she's like, no, it doesn't. And she's like, and they chase her through the campus, and it's, like some security guy and shit for breakfast. They chase her through. She gets into her room. She locks her door. She does the stupid chain latch on her door, and shit for breakfast is like, I'm a college provost. I have a fucking skeleton key. And he gets in, and she went through like the dumb waiter or whatever, because it's an old ass fucking building, because Yale. And she gets out or whatever, and she runs into the senator, and the senator's like, I'll take you to Luke. And she's like, what? And he's like, no, really, I will. And I'm like, so he takes her to the psych center, and they show Luke, and he's like heavily sedated, like he's doubled over in a wheelchair, just drooling on himself. So they load him up in a sedan, and the senator arranged that car for them. And the senator's like, there's only one solution to all this. We live by the rules, we die by the rules. He'll know what it means. And I'm like, that's a threat. Okay. So they pull off, and the senator calls Sparrow, and he's like, yeah, they're leaving the hospital. They're all yours. Duh. So they're driving away. They're rear-ended by a Jeep Cherokee, so Shit for Breakfast is pursuing them again, and then they get like stuck in a dead end or whatever the fuck, and then Shit for Breakfast is like, I'm gonna shoot you, and then Sparrow shoots him, and I was like, oh my god, plot twist, what? So fucking Sparrow had been following them since the hospital, and he's like, if you think it through, you'll figure it out. And then he's like, now get out of here. One of my notes for this was that he was a close stalker. He was like this fucking far away from her face, and I was like, whoa. So he won't confirm that he's seen the tape though. So there's definitely still something a little fishy. So they skedaddle and they go to a hotel room, and they look up, live by the rules, die by the rules, and like that rule in the rule book is like you can resort to gentlemanly means. And then like Luke is like, oh, the skulls will be on the island tomorrow, so tomorrow I bring war to the skulls. So he rows out to the island, and they're celebrating the end of the revealing process. Everyone's getting a check for $100,000, and he pops in, and like the judge is like, oh, did you want your money? And then like, the fucking maitre d' or whatever is like, bro, you're in a sweaty t-shirt, you can't be here, there's caviar, you're gonna sweat on our caviar, ew, poor, we got a poor person in here, disgusting, someone get him out. Like, and then he's like, I want to petition for justice for satisfaction of differences with Caleb. Rule 119, when there's no other solution, a challenge may be presented in gentlemanly means pursued. And Caleb's like, gentlemanly means? And then he's like, I challenge you to a duel. And then the judge is
and
like,
he takes off his glove and slaps him.
And so the judge is like, I want to call the police. And then the senator's like, no. Now remember, what we say is our rules are more important than the rules of the outside world. So you gotta let him do this. And he's like, but my baby boy, but my son, my beautiful son. So he was like, fine, then I'll take his place. And then like the senator's like, you're in the council, you can't do that, it's gotta be your kid, bitch. So then like the judge is like, well, you know what, Luke, you've got two options. You can either withdraw or die, because Caleb never misses a shot. And then like Luke is like, I guess I won't be coming for Thanksgiving then. Sick burn, bro. So Caleb is like, dude, Dad, I have like one question. Was Will alive when you left the ritual room? And he was like, son, I love you and I have never lied to you. The answer is no. So since Caleb was challenged, he gets to choose the weapons. It was a bunch of old-timey pistols. I don't know the difference. I couldn't even tell you what he did. There was wood on it. I don't fucking know. But all of them had a skull in the handle because their branding was on point. So they take positions, they take 10 paces, and when they turn around, like Caleb is ready, and then like of course Luke does like, no, and he drops his gun, and he's like, are you ready to murder your friend, your soulmate? Tell him the truth and it all ends. And then like Caleb hesitates, and then the judge grabs a different gun and turns and points it to Luke, and then you hear a gunshot and the judge is down. Oh god. And then it's Caleb who shot the judge, and then his dad looks up at him as he's struggling and bleeding everywhere, blood up. And then he looks up at his son and he's like, you weren't worth the effort. And Caleb is like, so he grabs another gun and walks to the outskirts of the duel and was like, right on. And then like Luke is like, no, and he tackles him and he saves his life. He's like, it's over, Caleb, it's over. And then like after that, Luke is talking to the senator and he's like, you told me there were always wars to be fought, was this your war? And the senator's like, yeah, bro, and the good guys won. And then he was like, senator's gonna be the skull chairman, and then Luke will be exonerated. And then he was like, you used me. He's like, I helped you. I taught you how to make the world work for you. Yes. And then he's like, if you ever need a favor, you know who you could, like, he goes through like a slew of like Godfather favor situations, and he's like, well done, son, well done. And then he's like, Dad? And then like he cuts to him rowing at sunset. Chloe's at a lighthouse for some reason. They kiss and the movie fucking ends. Bottom line, take the bride.
I certainly would.
Take the bribe. Yep. He went through a lot just to end up like where he started. Take the bribe.
Yeah, without any of the initial perks that he got for joining, too, I bet. I don't think they're going to pay for his tuition anymore.
No way. He just got that one-time $20,000, which, I mean, fucking cool. But, like, he could have had several times $20,000, $100,000, free tuition. Like, dude, you're an idiot.
To any grad school.
Paid for. Dude, you're dumb.
Idiot.
Interesting priorities.
Connections out the ass. Like, you'd have all, if you want to be a lawyer, you'd be connected to a judge, a senator, like, fucking all these people. You're dumb. So, that was my movie.
Solid 9%.
Solid 9%.
Hey, thought you could leave without saying goodbye.
So, Courtney, Jen, I saw a movie.
What movie did you see?
I saw the movie Mirror Mask, which is a real cool, I guess, abstract fantasy coming of age movie in the same vein of Labyrinth and Neverending Story and whatnot. Came out in 2005.
Does it come with the same emotional damage as the Neverending Story?
No.
Okay.
But that is sort of a good thing. But there is at least one very terrifying scene for interesting reasons. Not overt horror, but very creepy nonetheless.
Okay.
It was it was written by Neil Gaiman. Wrote Coraline, he wrote the Sandman comics, a bunch of good stories. And it was directed and designed by Dave McKean, who's a visual artist that collaborates with Gaiman on a lot of stuff. Pretty much whenever Neil Gaiman needs illustration, he goes to Dave McKean. Style is like super abstract, super weird. It's a very interesting style. And the movie was produced by Jim Henson Pictures.
I love that.
It's Jim Henson Pictures was a studio that was formed when they had like some kind of joint venture with Sony for a little bit, and they created Jim Henson Pictures to run for the duration of that contract, and then it shuttered after this movie. Actually, this was the last movie that they produced before the contract ended. So Lisa Henson has her paws in it. She's an executive producer.
Nice.
And yeah, it's a movie that I don't really remember how I found out about. I saw the DVD at a store once, and the cover art intrigued me, so I bought it, brought it home, watched it, and I liked it ever since.
Aw, that's cute.
So yeah, it's it opens up. Movie starts with a sock puppet show. You see a foot with a sock on it, and a little paper crown, and little eyes, googly eyes, and it's the main girl Helena, just doing a little sock puppet show. And then oh no, there's a dark sock puppet with a black sock and a magic marker.
Oh.
And they're two queens that are fighting. And then the dark queen attacks the white queen with the marker, and then one of the you're assaulted with freeform jazz, and the credits roll. The opening credits roll. Helena
assaulted with freeform jazz.
It's aggressive. It's pleasant, but it is aggressive. You're just like,
this is not smooth jazz.
It's not smooth. It's freeform and aggressive.
I'm into I love freeform and aggressive. It sounds great.
So Helena and her family are in a circus. They're a circus family. Her dad is the ringmaster and the owner and proprietor. Her mom family is performers within the circus. Her mom takes tickets. Her mom and dad have an act together. Her and her dad have an act together. She's a juggler. It is her main thing. And it's not the kind of circus that you're probably thinking of with like P.T. Barnum and Bailey circus. It's a Euro style circus, so it's like super weird. It has all these crazy masks and looty doody music that makes you feel things. Like
Oh.
exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
as impressive, certainly, but that's the style. So comes back after all of the jazz. Comes back, the mom's taking tickets, and she doesn't know where her daughter is. She's trying to find her because the show is about to start. They need everybody in their places. Everybody needs to do their show business stuff. And she goes and finds her in her trailer, and it looks like she's not dressed. She has on like a robe, and they start to kind of get into a little tiff. Turns out Helena does not appreciate being forced into the circus business. She really wants to have somewhat of a normal life, as a young gal would. She's probably like 13, 14, 12, somewhere around there. So she's like pretty resentful on her parents for making her do this and not letting her have a normal life and forcing her into her own dream and not like considering her in it, just making her be along with it. And then her mom like offhandedly says out of frustration, she's like, "Oh, Helena, you'll be the death of me." And she responds, "I wish I was." And as we know, when that sort of exchange happens,
now she's gonna die.
exactly, the mom may not have a rosy outlook after this as the movie progresses. But
Oh
I'm
man,
not
she's just
spoiling
about as
anything.
relaxed as Will.
Mm-hmm. Not yet, but maybe. Not yet, but maybe. Wait and find out. Oh yeah, then she's like freaks out. She's like, "Oh, fine." She's actually fully dressed and ready to go. She just takes off her robe and then goes out to thing because she had planned on doing that anyway. And they go through the whole production. The dad and the mom do their acrobatic thing. Then the dad and the daughter are doing their juggling thing. And the mom comes back from her first performance, is changing into her gorilla costume for the next bit, and she collapses. She has like some kind of brain thing, some kind of headache, collapses, rushed to the hospital. Never makes it to the ring to do her. So, cut to 10 days later, we're in Helena's room. Helena is writing a card for her mom, and it shows her bedroom wall. Her bedroom wall is covered, ceiling to floor, just papers, all of her drawings. And there's a split in the middle, and the side is all light, like white paper drawings, and the right side is all dark, black paper.
Oh,
So
like
there's
the
a light
puppets.
side, dark side, exactly like the puppets. And it's all Dave McKean's drawings. So it's all in that same crazy, abstract, dark fantasy, cool style. She makes the card, and then she lives in like some dilapidated apartment complex near the water. It doesn't look like ritzy. Nobody from the Skull and Bones would be found dead in that complex,
Ew,
I'm sure.
poor.
Oh yeah, they
Gross.
walk by like, eh.
Ew. Not even the sewer people could go there.
No, they can't make that smell good. So she hightails it to the hospital, goes to see her mom. Her mom's kind of out of sorts, but doing okay, all things considering. The doctors are saying that she's going to have surgery soon. We don't know when yet, but she's like kind of listless and sleepy because her condition is still whatever it is. They haven't treated it yet. But it's been 10 days in the hospital, so she comes back, and when she comes back, her dad is having a meeting with all of the circus performers in her apartment, trying to convince them to stay on while they have the circus on pause while their mom gets better. But there's a lot of contention around that because, they're essentially not getting paid this whole time.
Right.
And it's late in the season, so if they wait any longer, then they won't be able to join up with another company, and then seasons. Big deal. But Helena tells her dad to call the doctor right like this second because the doctor needed to talk to him, so he does, and then find out that they're having the surgery tonight. So her dad and Anna herself are like stressed about that, of course. So she goes to bed at the end of the night. She has a crazy stress dream. It's I skipped a thing. So before the crazy stress dream, to de-stress from some of that stress, she goes out to the balcony, and her balcony is covered in like charcoal drawings of the same style. There's a little character over here. There's a whole like meadow over here. The door to the balcony is like drawn up. There's like making it look like there's a window on it and all a cool border and whatnot. And that's when she like kind of breaks down and she blames herself for her mom's condition. When she's talking to her dad, blames herself. And if she didn't yell at her, then she wouldn't have had the thing. Like classic. So then she has the stress dream. It's a weird nightmare about the circus, and they pull her mom into this inner ring on a stretcher, and then she flatlines, and she puts on clown makeup for some reason and is looking at the mirror like all sad and sorrowful, and then her reflection starts laughing at her singly, and after the laughing she wakes up and her room is like pitch black. Her whole apartment is pitch black and super quiet. She doesn't know what's going on. So she starts investigating. She's kind of like looking for her dad, looking for her aunt that's living with them. She can't find anybody, so she goes outside of her apartment. Flex is like that. Just so dark. Nobody there. Very creepy. She gets down to an alley somewhere and she sees one of the musicians from the circus, or at least she thinks it's a musician from the circus. He's playing the violin. He has a mask on. And she tries to go talk to him, but there are these two guys in the background juggling. And they're telling her to be quiet because they're practicing, but she's trying to get the guy to acknowledge that they know each other. But it seems like it's a different guy. She doesn't know what's going on. And he's like, I know you from different place, but I don't actually know you. And as they're pontificating on this grand scheme, all of a sudden, creeping shadow comes from outside a frame, and as soon as it touches the violin player, it engulfs him and turns him into crumbling stone. And the two jugglers in the back, understandably, freak out, and they are aware of what this is, and they tell her, no, don't touch it. Run. And they're running, and one of the jugglers... Is it what?
Like contagious? Like don't touch it? Like...
I assume so. Since it's probably something like the Nothing from Neverending Story.
Okay.
Where you'd get drawn in if you touched it. So, yeah, they're running, they dodge in an open door that they find. One of the jugglers doesn't make it. It's just her and then the main juggler, who is Irish. The Irish juggler. So they're in this vacant room trying to find their way out, and then this weird creature sneaks up on them. It's this little cat-like thing with wings and a cutout face. It's like that visual effect style where it's a flat image of a video of somebody's real face. So it's like a person's face. It's her dad's face, Rob Brydon.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and it's has these like sharp teeth, and the juggler is like, it's a sphinx. Quick, throw it a book. And she looks back, and there's a bunch of books on a shelf, and she's looking like, it doesn't matter. He's not gonna read it. Just throw one. So she takes a book, chucks it, and it starts eating the pages out of the book, falling through the pages and eating them. And as it's distracted, they go and they open the one door out, and it's over a huge chasm. They need to somehow get from point A to point B across this gap. And juggler tells her, get 2 big books given to me. And then he tells her to throw it on the ground. So she's like, what? So she just drops it on the ground. He's like, oh, no. Make it seem like you don't want it. So he yells at the book. He insults it. He says, you stupid book. I hate you. And he throws it. And the book stops before hitting the ground, opens, just starts to float away. He jumps on it.
Fine, I guess I'll go.
Yeah, so he jumps on it, and she does the same thing. Jumps on that, and they just ever so slowly float across chasm. And Helena, of course, is like, what is happening? Why are these... What's going on? You gotta give me something here.
Why are we floating on a book here?
Juggler's like, well, if the books don't feel wanted, they just hightail it back to the library. So they take advantage of that. And they escape the Sphinx. So,
by hurting the book's feelings. At what cost, guys? At what cost?
I thought the Sphinx was like supposed to do like a riddle or something like that. So I was... Is that what that does?
Yeah, the Sphinx's riddle.
So the
That's
Sphinx
classically
is
what the
quiet?
Sphinx does. Because this is a tiny Sphinx, it's the size of a cat, and classically the Sphinx is this giant peck-off creature.
I see.
But as they're doing all of this escapism across the chasm, some of the shadows seeps in under the door that they close, and this like spider eyeball comes out of it and is watching them the whole time. That spider eyeball hightails it to this dark queen and shows her everything that it saw, and she's very intrigued. She says, I think we may have found her. But she recognizes Helena and find out why soon enough. It's to Helena and the juggler. I don't have to call him the juggler anymore because he introduces himself as Valentine and trying to leave the city, and he's all sad now because he doesn't have a second juggler. But surprise, surprise, I can juggle. So he is kind of super dismissive of her this whole time until he finds out she can juggle. And then he's like, huh?
I can use you.
Wow. Oh, we're picking up newspapers from the same bloody news, and I get you now. So, Helena is confused why he's doing any of this. Like, what is going on? And he's like, well, I may look like a pauper. Don't worry. Very important man. I have power. So, as if he's all high and mighty because he has a tower, which, what does that even mean? And then as they're sitting on the bridge the whole time, there's all these like weird people and creatures just leaving the city. So she asks one of them what's going on, and he does a very convenient exposition dump on the context of the situation. Apparently there is a dark queen and a light queen, and the light queen is asleep until the charm is found and can sort everything out. So not only was there a lovely exposition dump, but now we have a MacGuffin. Which, you know, every story needs a MacGuffin. And once they find that out, it's like, huh, that's interesting. A charm, huh? And before she can ponder that for too long, they get accosted and surrounded by the police. And the police are not what you would think. They're these really, really, like, interestingly designed creatures with super tall, stilt-like legs and, like, beetle carapaces and these, like, long, like, oblong, half-shaped heads. And they surround her, and they're like, that's the one, that's definitely her, let's get her, she's who we've been looking for. And they create, like, a centipede. They link up together, and they put their legs in front of her, and then the middle ones close their legs and lift her up, and then they just
like a crane claw?
Yeah, exactly like a crane claw. And they just keep her, their like ribs, I guess, as they sail away towards the light palace where they're taking her. And as they're going, she looks through a window as they're passing, and she can see herself sleeping in her room through the window. So whenever she looks through a window in this world, she can see her room. So she's like, oh, sleeping, this is a dream. Oh, all right, it's a dream, it's fine. I'm fine. It's a dream. And once she gets to the palace, they dump her at the foot of the palace, and a guy that looks like her dad but is wearing a mask is interviewing people that are coming through, claiming that they have the charm. And as he's going through the people claiming they have the charm, we're come to realize that nobody really knows what the charm is, what it looks like. So everyone's bringing anything they can think of to him and being like, yeah, this is a charm. One guy has half a brick, and he's like, that's a charm. It's like a brick. He's like, no, man. I think it's the charm. He's like, it's a brick, isn't it? He's like, ah. Next guy comes up, takes a chicken, puts the live chicken there, goes, charm. He goes, no, it's not a charm, it's a chicken. He's like, no, charm. He's like, sorry, I know this must be terribly hard for you, but it is indeed a chicken, that's not the charm. And then the chicken lifts its head up and goes, I'm trying to tell him. So he sees her, Bryden sees her and like, you're the one. Where'd you put it? Give it back. Give back what you stole. And Helena's like, thinking about, I don't know what's going on. And then he like examines her a bit more, like, you're not her. Who are you? Explain yourself. What are you doing here? If you're not her, then who are you? And then she's kind of flabbergasted at her situation and says that she's just Helena. She just wound up here. She doesn't know what's going on. He takes her inside. He thinks that she might have potential. Potential for what? I don't know. Let's find out. Takes her inside, and we come into this huge, like, solarium type, and it's the queen's favorite room, and she is laid out on a big slab, just asleep, with, like, a rose in her hands, like this. Like, just KTFO, not moving. And
no, everyone sleeps like that.
Yeah. If Adam's family is to be
Yeah.
you
don't sleep
system
like
of
that?
record. Yeah.
I sleep like that.
Peter Von Teese
I don't
sleeps
sleep like that.
Must be working.
She would sleep like that. So Helena asks what's going on for more information, and then another convenient expedition dump happens. This time it's through pop art and a delightful little box of rabbit musicians. The prime minister, that guy's the prime minister, takes a little red box off of his hat and he hucks it on the floor, and then it opens up into this little, it's like these little rabbits playing horns and musical instruments to
That's cute.
accompany storytelling. And what he says is the Dark Princess came to the Lightlands under the guise of like cooperation and bridging the gap of the two sides of the city. And the Light Queen welcomed her with open arms. They had a party. Then Dark Princess stole the charm and threw the balance of the world off, because now the light side was missing its MacGuffin, and the dark side could encroach on the light side now, and everything's all wibbledy-wobbledy. So he asks like what the charm is. She tries to get more information about the charm. Guy has no idea. Nobody knows what it is, how much it weighs, what it looks like, what it smells like, what it tastes like. Nobody knows nothing about this charm. Also, the queen looks exactly like her mom. Light Queen looks just like her mom, and when we saw the Dark Queen before, the Dark Queen was also with a drastically different hairstyle.
My
So
mom with a mohawk.
it's actually the Kid and Play, the but like real long, like
Fucking
any
flat
Hunter,
top.
any Hunter fans. When Gon goes through his transformation and his hair is like super long, that's the Dark Queen. So Helena sees this. She's like, "Oh, this is my dream. This is probably what I'm supposed to do. I'll do it. I'll find the charm." So she goes back to Valentine, and he's not too happy that she accepted a quest on their behalf. He wants to just kind of GTFO the city.
He just wants to
and
juggle, man.
He wants to scam and schmooze. He's that kind of guy.
Hmm.
He said that the city used to be great because it had a chance for to do a little thing here, a little thing there, and make ends meet. So I think he's on the up and up, so to speak. But anyway, he's the companion for this trek. So they go to the library to find more information about this. See if they can figure out anything about it. So they get to the library, and surprise, surprise, the main librarian, Stephen Fry. And it's similar style as the Sphinx, but it's just his mouth. So it's like a clutch cargo cutout for the mouth, where it's a real person's mouth. It's Stephen Fry's mouth, and then it's like a crazy CGI man behind it. So just off-putting enough, but not off-putting enough to be scary. And they ask him for a really useful book, and he says, information, paperbacks, floor. You'll need a net. And then these two attendants give them huge butterfly nets. So they go up the staircase to the top floor, and they're looking for books, and what do you know, Helena sees a small red book that says really useful book. Fine. So she's like, oh, it's a really useful. And she grabs it. As she goes to grab it, all the books fly off the shelf, fluttering around. They're swarming around. Thus the nets.
Yeah.
So they take the nets and they're trying to get it. Valentine's not as enthusiastic about it as Helena is, but gonna get the book, and she nabs a book. And this book that she nabs is not the really useful book, but it is The Complete History of Everything. As soon as she pulls it out of the net, opens it, it flies out of her hand and over to Stephen Frybarian. And Stephen Frybarian is reading the History of the World exposition dump to give context for the creation of the world and their whole situation. And their creation myth, I guess, is that there was a girl used the charm to reflect her intentions and her desires into her drawings. And she started on the white side and filled it from corner to corner with her drawings of the city. And then she flipped it over and filled the void with the same until both sides were covered. And thus the light and the dark side of the city was created. And when she was done with the charm, she placed it beneath the sign of the queen. She left her creation to fend for itself as she went to sleep. So pretty direct reference to Helena as the creator and the drawings on the wall. So she is their Jeebus, but nobody knows that except her. And honestly, I don't think she fully knows it because she doesn't carry herself like the Jeebus of the world. So,
dude, I would be so different if I was told that I was their creator. I'd be like, worship me, bitches.
You'd be like, I always knew it.
all of your adversity would just vanish. You just create something to get yourself out of dodge.
Yeah, it would be like scribble nuts.
Exactly. Literally, actually, because she scribbled her way into this world, and she can scribble her way out.
I scribbled into this world, and I could scribble right back out.
So as the Frybarian is making all of this talk, the really useful book kind of just like flutters and lightly lands on Helena's head. It takes a liking to her. So she just kind of grabs it and opens it and reads it and says, "Remember what your mother said." And she turns the page and says, "Look out the window." So she was talking to her mother earlier in the hospital about her aunt couldn't find her teeth because her aunt is a very old lady named Nan. So they called her Nan at first, and I was like, oh, it's her grandma. And then in the hospital when she's talking to her mom, she refers to her as Aunt Nan. So that threw me off a little bit, but I digress. And the main piece of advice that she has is that it's always right in front of your face. Don't give up. probably in front of your face. So she looks out the window. She sees the sign of the queen, which is like, it's a sun with a line down the face, and like one side's light, one side's dark. And she sees that down a particular street. So she's like, oh, sick. I go down that street. Awesome. And then as she's going, the Stephen Fribrarian says you can take the book. Just be sad if you leave without him, and it'll bring all the other books into a depression. So she just takes the book, and they have a new companion. So they're on the way, going down the street, and they're racking their brains trying to figure out what they're trying to do, where they're trying to go. And she passes by a window and she looks in, and it's during the daytime, and her room is empty. Her bed is made, nobody's there, and she's like, huh, that's weird. And she tries to show Valentine, but Valentine can't see into her room. He just sees like an empty shed of somebody's junk. So she's like, I know what you're talking about, man, but I can see that we're heading the right way. Because you can see in a wardrobe mirror the reflection on the wall where she is, because she's looking out of the little windows of the buildings that are drawn onto her wall. So she can see where she's looking, and she can see the drawing, and she sees the sun line of the queen like right up atop them. She knows they're going in the right direction. Now they get to this place called Giants Orbiting, and it's this like gated area that looks kind of spoopy. It's this weird thing, and Valentine doesn't want to go in. He's like, no, I'm good here. I'll be here. Just you go on. And he starts to like just around outside, and she's like, all right, whatever. So she goes in the gates, and then wow, surprise, she gets assaulted by another sphinx, but this time it's big, orange, and it still has the same face, but it's scarier and larger. And he's guarding the place. He says, you can't pass. We have to riddle fight. Here's where the Sphinx riddles come in. And he does the typical riddle of the Sphinx, which is the 2 legs in the 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, 3 legs in the evening. And she says, oh, William, the performing dog. And he's like, what? What are you fucking stupid or something? William?
Idiot.
Dummy, you dumb idiot. It's William. And she's like, oh, no. It is William, because he was walking on 4 legs in the morning, and then he was on 2 legs during the show, and he hurt his paw, so he was limping on 3 legs afterward. And this, he's like, what? That's right. But why? And then she hits him with another riddle. And this riddle is even more nonsensical. She says, what's green hangs on the wall and whistles. And the Sphinx throws him off real hard. He's like, what the fuck? She says, you give in? And he's like, no. Just, I have to think about it. And he sits down and he just starts to ponder. And she's like, all right, while you're doing that, I'm gonna just to go. And she skirts right by him. And now we get to see what this space is, this Giants Orbiting. So it's this huge walled in, it's by buildings, huge walled in space with Courtney's favorite thing, a bunch of huge spiral staircase platforms. Just these giant spiral stairs that go up to platforms all over the place. Like it kind of, not as far as the eye can see, because you can see the wall. And then when you look up, there are these 2 giants just floating. They're these giant stone creatures, and they're kind of like this. One is facing up and one is facing down, and they're just conjoined at the stomach and just like kind of moving slowly along.
It's bad boundaries.
And what's that?
That's bad boundaries.
Or is good boundaries, because they discussed it prior and they're both okay with it.
It's consensual. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good story.
So after you see like what giants orbiting is, it cuts back to Valentine outside, and he sees the shadow is coming. It's fast approaching, so he's like, "Oh shit!" Runs in to go find Helena, but he gets stopped by the Sphinx, and he's like, "Ah, time for this riddle, right?" And then he says, quickly, the riddle that he says, I forget, and it's like, "Oh, I don't know what if I give up. Tell me." Sphinx gives up, and he's like, "It's a secret." And Sphinx is like, "Come on, tell me." He's like, "No, it's a secret." Sphinx is like, "No." Now he's like, "No." And he won't believe him. He won't believe him. And he goes, "Look over there. It's an idiot." Sphinx looks, and then he skirts right by him. By the time the Sphinx looks back, it's gone. So Valentine meets up with Helena, finds the symbol of the queen on one of the staircases, and they go up because she thinks the giants will be able to help them. And the giants, another bit throughout this movie, I noticed that they take little bits and pieces from other similar fantasy adventure movies. The giants talk super slow, like so slow, just like the turtle from Neverending Story. And is there a character in Labyrinth that talks super slow and they get frustrated at it?
Yes, actually, it's the character that has the bird hat.
That's right. So they're super slow, super slow, trying to talk to them. So they ask him about the charm. Like, what is the charm? And the giants are like, "We solemnly, sorrowfully." They're like, "Enough adjectives, just nouns and verbs, please."
Go faster.
Turns out they have like the one that is facing up is holding a little box in his two fingies, and they're like, "Oh, sick! Is that the? Give me the box." And they're like, "Okay," but in more slower words. So as they're exactly like an ent, takes them a long time to say whatever they have to say because it's
don't be hasty.
So as they're about to finally get the box, the shadow grabs the foot of one of the giants and starts to encompass them, and it is ripping the giants apart. Because reason why they're kind of joined at the stomachs like this, because the one on top is always trying to go down, and the one on the bottom is always trying to go up. So they perfectly balance each other to keep themselves like up in the air. But once they get split, one is trying to go up, the other one's trying to go down. So they split. They're locked in arms, and then they're locked in hands. And just before they get ripped apart, throws in the box. They grab the box, and then sadly, the giant goes into the ground, disappears into the earth, and the other giant kind of just curls up and floats away, all sad that he lost his homie.
Who's that?
It's devastating for the giants, but Helena and Valentine, they got the box, so they're like, "Cool, deuces," and they leave.
So anyway.
Yeah. So they look in the box, they're like, "Sick, charm, we got the charm. We can go finish everything. We got the goober." And they open the box. Oh, it's a key. It's a key that has the sun symbol on it. And they're like, "Ah, shit. Whatever." While they were talking to the giants, I forgot to say, the giants told them what the charm was. They said the charm was the mirror mask. So that's the namesake of the movie. But now they know that they're looking for some kind of mask. As the exit shop, the giants orbiting, they're trying to figure out what to do. Like, who do they need to ask about it? And conveniently, they are having this discussion in front of a mask shop. So, of course, they go inside the mask shop. And they go inside. There's a sphinx on the counter, one of the small ones. But it seems super chill, just like snoozing like cats do. And an old woman comes out from the back. They're like, "Oh, looking for a mask." And she's like, "Oh, Yeah, I'll get some tea and some cake. All you young people like cakes. So they go back into the owner's area, and she has there's a lot of sphinxes. Like they're all over the place. They're on the couches. One's messing with a record player. One's in the trash.
She's a crazy Sphinx
Everywhere.
lady.
She's a crazy Sphinx lady. By
That
golly,
place
by
was
gum, she is.
stink.
Unless sphinxes don't stink like cats. We'll never know because they don't mention it.
Hmm.
But as they're talking to her, Valentine's like, there's of them here. And she's like, Helena asks her, how many do you have? And she's like, I don't have them. They're just here. Be about 30. I'm like, 30?
Wow.
Imagine having a house with 30 cats. Yeah, I'd rather not.
Have to be mentally ill.
Crazy Sphinx lady indeed.
She
So,
has all these little sweatshirts with sphinxes on them, like with little pink yarn.
Yeah.
They're all crew neck sweatshirts.
Hanging
glitter.
decorations of sphinxes in various positions. So she brings out the tea, she brings out the cakes, and as Helena goes to take a cake, she's like, what do we do before we eat, young lady? And she's like, we wash our hands. Go, wash your hands. So she has to go wash her hands. She goes to the bathroom, goes to wash her hands, and while she's in the bathroom, she looks out the window, and she sees scroll down too far on my notes. Sorry. She sees herself arguing with her dad through the window. She sees her room, and she sees herself, or somebody that looks like her, dressed more punk, by the way, more like Hot Topic-y than she usually dresses. And just having a full-blown argument with her dad. Kicks him out of the room, slams the door in his face, that type deal. And she's like, weird. Goes back. As she gets back, Valentine had already asked her about the mirror mask. So the owner starts talking like, oh, yes, my late husband told me about that. Apparently, it concentrates your desires and your wishes and gives you what you need. And she's like, would it give you what you need? He's like, oh, I don't know. That's just what he said. Crazy. I like sphinxes. So, while she's just kind of droning on, Helena opens the book, the really useful book again, and it says, honestly, don't let them see you're afraid. And as she looks up from the book, she notices all the sphinxes have taken a keen interest in them and are just staring at them. So, once they get that information, the lady is like, oh, guys, why don't you, are you sure to go? I can make up the guest. You can stay in the guest room. Your jester, stay on the couch. And Valentine takes big offense at being called a jester. He's like, what? Jester? I'm a very important man. I have a tower.
I have a tower.
So Helena's like, oh, we really must go. Bye-bye. And then the owner is like, okay, well, if you must, here, take some cakes on the road. And don't let them see you're afraid. And as they walk out, all the sphinxes are kind of slowly creeping towards them. And they're like, nope. Nope. They dip out. So they're walking in the streets, trying to figure out what to do about the mirror mess, because another thing the Giants told them that I forgot to mention, the last thing that they said before they were brutally ripped apart and probably killed, was to go higher. Nice and cryptic, specific enough when you see the thing, but to go higher. So they're like, what the fuck? So we need to find a mirror mask. It concentrates desires. I don't know what to do. And as they're talking, Helena's like, hey man, so you keep talking about a tower. What does that mean? And he was like, oh, tower. Like a tower. It's got, great tower. Great tower. So many rooms, bunch of windows. Best tower you'll ever see. And so Helena says, well, it's so great. Where is it? Like, I want to see it. I want to see a tower. So Valentine admits that him and the tower, they're not on speaking terms. They had an argument. He refuses to apologize, so the tower left. He's in the doghouse right now.
That's tough.
Tower.
Ouch.
Tower's making him sleep on the street.
On the street. That's worse than the couch.
Sir Valentine admits that his tower is not within his possession anymore. They hear a noise and they turn around, and three sphinxes. Three sphinxes are behind them. And they're like, oh shit. Nice kitties. And one of them steps forward and looks at them and goes, hungry. Telling it's like, opens the cakes, throws in the cakes. They look at the cakes, bottom aside, look at them again, hungry. They're like, oh shit. They turn and they try to run. 5 more behind them. All of the sphinxes from the shop had followed them out. And they're surrounded and they're being closed in on. Helena looks at the really useful book one last time, and it says, pages taste excellent. They're stickier than toffee and very hard to chew. So she rips out a bunch of pages from the book and throws them, and the cats, the sphinxes, they're like, I can't chew them. They're too sticky. So they distract them long enough for them to dip out and run away. And as they're running away, it cuts to the Dark Palace where the queen is frustrated that they can't get her minions can't find Helena. So she puts her head up, opens her mouth, and shadow just pukes out of her mouth into the sky. And she tells the shadow to go find them.
Gross.
So now we know that the queen is the cause of this shadow that is consuming the world.
Ew.
So back to Helena and Valentine. They're walking around outside of, right underneath like a giant staircase. And Helena is finally telling Valentine the specificities of what she sees when she looks out the window. That she's looking into her room, she sees her bed, sees somebody that looks like her, and she's doing naughty things, and she doesn't know who it is. And Valentine just thinks she's crazy. He's like, all right, whatever you say, young lady. Let's just keep walking here. I don't want to be caught in one of your episodes. But, so Helena looks at the stairs and like, oh, go higher. That's so high. It's like the highest thing I can see. Look at all. And they look up, and what do you know? At the top of the stairs is a giant stone, like, castle thing that looks exactly like the key. And she takes the key and she, like, holds it up against the view of the thing, and it's 1-to-1 match straight up. So they go up the stairs, they go into the castle structure thing, and they're looking around, and Helena falls through the floor. Boom. She's like, shit. She wakes up and is surrounded yet again by creatures that she's unaware of. And they're these weird looking gorillas.
What's up, Mike?
Not yet. They're going to be taken higher, that's for sure. She's surrounded by these gorillas with bird beaks, wooden bird beaks, and they're introduced as Bobs. All of the ones with orange beaks are Bob, and then there's one with a blue beak, and his name is Malcolm. And when he says his name is Malcolm,
He's
they hit
fancy.
him. One of the Bobs hits him in the back of the head, and his beak flies off. And he's like, oh, man. Grabs his beak and puts it back on.
Poor Malcolm.
And he is asking them about the mask, the mirror mask. Like, they're gonna know, but they're these weird gorilla bird things, and they just say one word. But as they're talking, the shadow comes in, and the shadow breaks apart into all of these bat-like things, and they hit one of the Bobs on the face, and his face gets enveloped in a black goopy goop, and he becomes possessed by the shadow and grabs Helena, goes out the window, and then an epic chase scene happens where Malcolm and Bob is chasing the possessed Bob, trying to get Helena back. All these things are happening, and they catch up to the possessed Bob, and they hit him on the back of the head. The shadow thing falls off, and then they catch Helena, and they grab Valentine as well because he was there. And they go, just like Scott Stapp wanted, they go higher, all the way high, all the way to the tippy top of the tower.
Scott Stapp is so proud.
And then they're 6 feet from the edge, but they were thinking that they got to
Whoa.
keep going.
Maybe 6 feet ain't so far now.
Nope. So they jump and turn, and they open their wings because they have wings and they can glide. And they start going, and Helena sees a shimmering light at the border of the light and dark in the middle of this big water pool. So she's like, "Ooh, that's it. That's definitely the thing. Take us there." So they go. The Bobs and Malcolm drop them off, and they say bye-bye. And then they go head towards the border lands where that pool is. But as they're going, there's another window, and Helena can't help herself. She has to see, and she goes and looks out the window. Helena. Dirty, yucky boy. Horrible boy. They're snogging. She's not happy about it. Which, I don't know, if you guys were looking out of a window when you were in a mirror world, and you looked into your world, and you saw somebody that looks like you swap and spit with some guy that you've never seen before. The way it looked older, so it made it even that much more creepy.
Hold on. I have questions. First question: how much older?
At least 3 years. Say.
Okay. Second question: is he hot?
He's wearing a black tank top with a rib cage on it. So I think he's supposed to be hot.
Problem. I've got a problem with that. He's a tool.
I'm okay with it. I have no questions. I'm okay with it. Hot. Approved.
There you go. Two sides of the same coin. So
it's like the guys that wear the tuxedo t-shirts. I just wouldn't.
Just a kiss. It's not a long-term relationship. His name's probably Kyle.
That's true.
Well,
Monster, put him next to some drywall. He'll be fine.
I don't know if Kyle is a common British name. Might be, I don't know.
Oh,
Reginald.
Kyle.
What's like a
Reginald?
Like a street one. Central C. I can't think of a single fucking. Is one of the in-betweeners names. Damn.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, damn. It's so hard to come up with a fuckboy, an English fuckboy name. No?
Chav. His name is Chav.
Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty fucking good.
So after her little freak out at seeing not herself kiss this boy that she calls horrible, they make it to the pool. And it's in what they call the Dreamlands, which is really sick. It's like all of these like abstract art pieces are like suspended in the air and like see-through. They're like ghostly, ethereal. So they're kind of just all over the place. And Valentine, Poe of Nothing, this is where the movie starts to drag a little bit. So this is Dave McKean's first directorial debut. It kind of shows the movie starts off strong and is carried by the visuals, and then once it gets to this point, it's kind of dragged a little bit and becomes very like plotting, but that's neither here nor there. Valentine, apropos of nothing, is like, oh, this is Dreamlands. Dreamlands is where people's wishes, hope, dreams, this is where they are. It's all over the place. Hopes, memories, wishes, just out there. Helen's like, all right, cool, man.
Can
so
you
she
like
starts
wish
to wander.
for the mirror mask? Be like, all right, I really wish that the mirror mask would be right here.
You realized that way sooner than she realized that. So she's like pontificating on how the hell she's going to find this mirror mask, and she's wandering through the dreamlands, and sees her mom. And she starts talking with her mom, and it turns out that her mom it is actually her mom. She's having a dream either after or during her surgery. I can't tell, but she's like, "Oh, you always have weird dreams when they mess with your head like this." But she asks her mom for advice, and her mom says the same thing: "Don't give up. It's probably right in front of your face." And then she gets back to the pool. Her mom disappears, and she's like, "Wait, I'm dreaming. My dream. If this was my dream, there would be a building there, and there would be a bridge, and that's where the mirror mask would be. And then lo and behold, building with the bridge, and that's where the mirror mask is."
Da, da,
So they cross,
da.
and they get inside, and there's this big column with countless locks around it. They got to try to keep in all of the locks. Find the thingy, but gets rumbly and shakes like this. And
Whoa,
as it
that
shakes,
was like a weird perspective, like warp. Your camera's fun.
yeah, that's probably AI correcting for the motion.
Ah, the robots, man, they're everywhere.
They're gonna take over. I, for one, welcome our robot overlords.
I haven't told the robots how pretty they are today. Guys, you're so pretty today. Don't hurt me.
So conveniently, there's a window in this building. So she looks out the window to see why everything's all rumbly. And the not Helena is ripping all of the papers from the wall, crumpling them up and throwing them out. So she's like literally destroying the world. And she sees her looking out the window, and she takes the paper where they are and moves it over
Oh,
into
that
the dark
bitch.
end. So she's like, "Got ya."
Helena,
And
more
got
like
you, she did.
Helena.
More like hell no.
Hell no.
So
What a jerk.
during this whole kerfuffle, Helena hurts her arm, which she doesn't really hurt her arm. She's just all of a sudden she's like, "Ooh," to give Valentine a reason to like leave her alone to go get help. So Valentine goes, and this is important. Forgot to mention there are wanted posters all over the place with what looks like Helena's picture on it. Because spoiler, the Dark Princess looks exactly like Helena. So there are wanted posters, and the reward is all the jewels you can carry. Please bring information to the Dark Palace, whatever. So Valentine goes straight to the Dark Palace, and we're like, "Oh, no, Valentine, what are you doing, man? Do that. That's bad. Train." And back to Helena. Helena's like thinking stuff, and while she's waiting, she's looking out the window, and she sees Helena burning all of the pictures in like a trash can in her room. And her dad comes in and obviously is like, "What the heck are you doing?" But then they get into an argument. She slams the door, continues burning the trash. It's a whole thing. And then
Jeez,
she
what a
hears a
rebel.
noise. She hears a noise, turns around, and it's the Dark Palace guards, and she gets kidnapped in a potato sack. So she gets taken to the Dark Palace, and the queen is like super happy, like, "Oh, there you go. Why did you leave? Let's get you fixed up." And she's like, "I'm not your daughter. Like, who the hell are you talking about?" And the queen is like, "What you'll do, fix you." And then she's like, "What the heck's going on, man?" And then, of course, we see Valentine in the background with a big fancy hat because he just got rich from turning her in. So when you're
Counting
rich,
all
you
of
have
his
big fancy
jewels.
hats. And
Now the tower will come back because he's got money.
yeah, it's a gold digging tower.
Mm-hmm. Pretty sure Kanye sang a song about that.
Gold digging towers, yeah. How I remember it. So then that's the betrayal, the movie, big betrayal, the inevitable betrayal, I shall say.
Turd.
And then the queen is just like real into changing Helena to be her daughter. And she makes her guards take her away after giving Valentine all of the jewels, and Valentine skedaddles because he's running from his guilt. And then this cue one of the most unsettling sequences that I've seen in a film. She gets put into this small room, huge clocks on the wall from floor to ceiling, and there's 8 like octagonal boxes around her in octagon, and one in the middle. And they open up, and these really creepy looking mannequins with the same clutch cargo mouth thing, real person's mouth, comes out, and they start singing Close to You by the Carpenters. Like, why do suddenly appear? They do a whole like dance routine. And one of the first things they do is they do a flourish. During the flourish, powder comes out and it drugs the shit out of Helena and makes her like super complacent, and her eyes get like really black because she's now subservient to the Dark Queen. And they give her a full goth makeover, so now she's the Dark Princess. But it is very creepy, and it scared me when I first saw it, and usually when I rewatch it, I fast forward that part, but I watched it again for y'all.
Aw.
Thank you for your service. Mannequins are terrifying.
They are.
Oh, God.
So yeah, then it goes into like a little montage between Helena and Valentine, just to speed the movie up, I guess. And Valentine is like regretful of his actions. He's like, oh man, I miss Helena. I need to get my thing. And Helena is just doing shit with the queen, like playing instruments, eating dinner, that type of thing, just hanging out, being a subservient daughter. So Valentine goes back to the building, starts trying to key again into all of the things, and eventually finds the one that it opens, pulls it out, and he's like, oh great, the mirror mask. But no mirror mask, it's a letter from the Dark Princess. And the letter essentially says that the Dark Princess is going to steal the mask and use it to leave and take over somebody's life from a different world and fuck up the world that she came from in the process. So that's not nice. So then Valentine.
So is this a swip swap? It was a switch swap.
It was, full blown swip swap.
Swip swap.
It's one of those swip swapping movies.
Mm-hmm.
So Valentine goes back to the palace, and Helena's outside, just like playing with a ball for some reason, just to give her a reason to be outside, I suppose. And
that's sad.
Valentine is like trying to apologize. He can't really apologize because he's like that trope of a person who can't physically say the words "I'm sorry."
I'm sorry.
That's what
I mean
happens.
to say
He's
is
like,
I
he's like, well, if to say something apologetic, he's like, man, bro, come on, just say sorry. Hard.
I regret the things that made you feel this way. That ain't it.
I'm sorry that you're offended. So she's like still completely zonked out because she's under the queen's control or whatever, but he takes the balls that she was playing with and starts to juggle with her, and the juggling snaps her out of it. She's like, all's forgiven now because he came back and saved her and whatever. So
just had to juggle some balls, baby.
You know, that's the answer to a lot of questions in life, is when you feel some kind of adversity, this is all the boys and girls out there, feel any kind of adversity, think you can't do it, just, go out, juggle some balls, find some balls, if you don't have any, of course.
Koosh has weird ones. Nerf has weird balls.
Yeah. So, once you juggle those balls, everything's going to seem a little bit better.
The more you know.
Yeah. So they get back into the palace. They're in like the princess's room, and the princess has like this backboard on her bed. It's slanted mirror, 2 eye holes, because the queen spies on her through there. to make sure that she's still in her room. And while they're in that room, the queen is having like a meeting with the council or whatever, and the council is saying, "Oh, things being destroyed. Like my swamp isn't there anymore." So it's exactly like the council from Neverending Story talking about the nothing, saying like there's nothing left. And they're trying to figure out like where the princess held the mask, like could have hidden the mask. And they have the really useful book. Valentine found it in the building. So they bring it back and there's one page left. And the page says, "Remember what your mother's..." Oh no, they don't. She doesn't look at it. Sorry. But when she sees it, she sees the book, she remembers what her mom said, "Don't you give up." Most of the time it's staring at your face. And then she's like, "Oh, where would I hide a mirror?" Hide a mirror. So she goes and she puts her face up to the eye holes in her bed. And when she pushes her face into the mirror and then comes out, bada boom, bada bing, she got the mirror mask, the MacGuffin is had. So then once they have it, they get the hell out of Dodge. They leave the palace and they skirt by an attendant who is like, "What, princess, where are you going?" And she's just like, and they leave. So they're going through the forest, running through the forest, and Valentine is just saying like how hungry he is the whole time. And then they find this huge fruit, this big pod, looks like a giant pumpkin type thing. And he's like, "Oh, great fruit, I'm starving." And he starts to like peel it. And as he's peeling it, it's like cotton or something. I don't know. But he keeps peeling it, and then this creepy old lady comes out of nowhere and, "What are you guys doing?" "Oh, that's the future fruit. Show you your future." This whole scene's like super forced. I think it just manufactures some kind of conflict in the future to like keep the movie going. It's very out of place, but Valentine gets to the fruit. It's this little tiny fruit inside this huge pod, and he eats it, and he sees a scene. Helena is looking out of the window, and she asks him for the mask, and he's like, "I'm getting out of here," and he pushes her out of the way and puts on the mask, and then he comes to the real world instead. And when he comes to the real world, he doesn't know what the hell to do. He got no money, he ain't got no friends, he ain't got no bitches, can't do nothing. So he becomes a waiter, and the thought of becoming a waiter scares him so much that he snaps out of the vision and is like,
No, not food service.
I completely agree.
So it cuts back to the queen. The attendant goes to tell her that the princess escaped again, and she is not very happy at all. So she has a bit of a meltdown, and then it cuts back to Helena and Valentine escaping the forest. They like get out of the forest, and now they're on some huge barren plain, probably a place that the princess ruined by tearing the drawings off the wall. But they get accosted, they get chased by giant floating tentacled queen head. And the queen tells Helena, like, "Just come back. If you just come back, it'll be fine. Just be my daughter forever." And Helena's like, "What? Just like let your daughter grow up, man. Just let her be a person." And the queen's like, "You mean let her make her own choices and like be herself, choose her own clothes and what she eats?" What?
That's insane.
Nah.
That is.
I would never do that. No. And then she opens her mouth, and a ton of shadow bats come out, and they surround them. So everything's looking real bleak. Then Valentine takes the mirror mask and shines a light on it because he has a flashlight for some reason. And this huge beacon of light comes. And was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "It's the tower. It's our signal. I don't know why it's not coming." And I was like, "You gotta apologize." And he's like, No, I don't have to apologize. I'll just do the signal." And it's not working. So finally, comes into the ether. Hey, and then lo and behold, the tower comes down. This is cool, real cool tower. He's not lying. It is a pretty impressive tower. And comes down, lets them inside, takes off, flies again, and has a lot of windows. So Helena looks out. She sees that Dark Princess is about to take down everything. So she asks for the mask. It's the thing that Valentine saw in his vision. So he just gives her the mask instead of being a waiter, which I would choose the
Anything
same
but
thing.
food service.
So she puts on the mask, and then it's to black, pure black, and you hear Helena say that Princess took the last drawing off the wall. She won. There's nothing else they can do. So it shows back into the real world, and it shows Princess grabbing and crumpling the paper, and she's like, "I'm not going back. I'm never going back."
Jerk.
She takes all of the drawings out to the balcony. She throws them off the building, like, I'm finally free. But forgot one drawing, the door, which has a window. So she looks back and she sees Helena in the mirror world, and she's like, "Oh, you thought you clever." And she puts on the mask, and then it tells Princess to the door, and they do the switcheroo, and they come back, and it cuts to sometime later, I assume the next day. Helena wakes up on the balcony, back in her normal clothes. So I don't know if it is like the body swap took her clothes too, or if none of it ever happened and it was all a dream. That's very unclear. But her dad comes, wakes her up, and is like, "Oh, this is a weird place to sleep. What are you doing out here?" And before Helena can say anything, he gets a call. It's the doctor, it's the hospital, and the surgery went well, covering, and is set to make a
She's
full recovery.
not gonna die.
And everything's gonna be fine. So there's a time skip, sometime later, don't know how much later, and the circus is back up and running. They're doing another show. Mom is taking tickets again, and somebody in line is saying that they always wanted to join the circus, and her mom is like, "Oh, just pass the audition and be a crazy person, because who else would want to join the circus?" He's like, "All right, gotcha." And then Helena is on the side juggling, and the guy kind of like knocks into her. And it's Valentine. No mask. Regular Valentine. It's the same Irish man. He's like, "Oh, I wanted to join the circus." And Helena's like, "Yeah, you would have been a lousy waiter." And Valentine's like, "Oh, what?"
Classic.
Because he doesn't know.
Right. Like, yeah,
That was a
just
classic
don't get me
callback.
fired.
And then cue the freeform jazz, and the credits roll.
All
To
right.
close it out with freeform jazz again.
Wow.
Is this aggressive?
No, it's much smoother.
Oh. Well, because there's no conflict anymore.
No. This is the happily ever after jazz.
Nice.
That's interesting. So I don't know why, but based on like the cover art, I just assumed that everything was like a weird like James and the Giant Peach stop animation. But the way that you're describing it does not seem like it was a weird James and the Giant Peach stop animation.
No, it came out in 2005, so it's like weird, low budget 2005 CGI.
Okay.
Huh.
No stop motion. They couldn't afford that.
Right.
Yeah, the Jim Henson Pictures is known for Muppets in Space, and that's it. There are 5 other movies I've never heard of, and they do not look good.
Awesome. Love that for them.
So it's just this and Muppets in Space, and that's about it.
Right. Which not a lot of people, I'm sure, have heard of Mirror Mask either.
No, but I highly recommend it. You especially would like it.
Yeah, except for the mannequin bit. That's terrifying.
You just skip it.
They freak me out, man. They freak me out. That's like one of my serious fucking irrational fears is fucking mannequins. I hate them so much. They're so scary.
All back to our I was not
Mannequins
expecting
scare
that
me.
reaction at all.
Yeah.
Like, me, it's just whatever.
No, I fucking hate those things.
What is that? There's a game. I don't know if it's Silent Hill or Resident Evil, but one of them has stuff like that in it.
No, thank you.
It's Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
Condemned Criminal Origins. It also has that.
Yep.
Terrifying. No, I hate it. I hate it. Thanks, I hate it.
Like, even when they were trying to make it scary to me, I was like, scared. So, even something as light as a talk, I was shocked to hear.
No, dude. No,
I mean,
I really
it's
need
also
those things to not be sentient.
also thematically creepy too because they're like drugging you and making you into a goth against your will.
Oh, like, I want to be a
Not the
mall goth.
side part!
Woo, bring
Yeah,
on the
it's a
hot
mall goth.
topic. Yeah.
Get the ball chain necklace.
Oh.
It's fucking, I need my studded belt. I need two of them. I need one to hold up the pants, and then I need the other one to go on top.
As is the style.
I remember. I remember 2005. I remember. Yeah. Aside from the mannequins, it is very interesting. But fucking mannequins,
It's
bro. I don't like it.
That's the only like unsettling part. Unless you I don't think the eyeball spiders would be triggering for you because they're clearly not spiders. They have 4 legs and they're like knife,
Right.
and it's just an eye.
Right.
It's not like the full spider regalia, you know?
Yeah. So we got one more movie up.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited for this one.
I'm totally taking advantage of the setup that we have because, like, normally, I mean, I'm never prepared. Let's fucking be honest. But this time around, I've got access to a fucking computer. So hello, like, why would I not use it? So I'm absolutely gonna be cheating. You guys know.
That's fine.
Yeah, it is what it is. So Anora, that is a 2024 film. I originally thought it was 2025, but it's cool. I'm always like a year behind. I'm putting my sensory stuffy down because I'm getting serious. I'm locking in right now.
This time it's personal.
It's for real.
No fidget spinners for you.
No, hands are
You know,
free.
I've been messing with the clapboard marker the whole time.
If I didn't do that, I'd actually be tweaking out. It would be a problem. You could see it on my face for sure. So we have Anora. She's played by Mikey Madison. A couple different things. Like, she's getting her fill. But what I know her from, Scream movie.
That's why you have
I
it
get
there.
it. I get it.
Well,
Oh, you're so thematic.
I tried this time, but also too,
I love it.
Scream is my favorite horror movie franchise. It's so camp. You know, it's just cute. Especially the last ones they got really goofy with it. I appreciate that. There's a lot of fans out there who did not appreciate that, but for the record, I like them. Fucking sue me. So,
Don't sue her.
no, don't
We're poor.
actually sue. That would
We wear our clothes.
Actually, you could try. Like, I don't have anything to offer. I don't even think I could make child support payments, let alone if somebody fucking sued me. Anyway, okay, so this movie is directed by Sean Baker. If you don't know anything about Sean Baker loves making movies about sex work.
Nice.
Don't have an explanation as to why, but he has so many sex worker movies. He's also he directed the Project. I don't know if you guys know about that. No? Okay, well, that's basically like it's the story of like a single mom, and it's like fucked up, low key. It's like this mom, and it's low key depressing, but it's supposed to be like a hopeful like, comedy, thing going on. Not really comedy, more on the serious side. I remember watching that movie and it making me very uncomfortable. So I was not expecting. Like, obviously, when I watched Anora, I didn't connect that it was the same guy that did the Florida Project. But he put his whole pussy into this. Like, all his other movies are like whatever. This movie, oh shit! I just need the. Okay, sorry, I just assaulted you guys. So like, I was not expecting this movie to be so fucking good, but it's like so fucking good. Like, I don't even know. Let's okay. Rotten Tomatoes, 93%, motherfuckers. 93%.
That's way more than 9.
That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot higher than 9.
If I didn't have access to
Wow.
a computer right now, you guys would not know that figure. Because I did like I said, I just know some small things. So anyway, so this takes place in like Brooklyn at Anora. She is a sex worker. I think she like starts off as a stripper, but then she like moves to more serious things because we find out she's like really fucking poor. She's hard up for money.
Aw.
She's got like a New York accent. Not really New York, it's a more Jersey. She's kind of got a Carmela soprano thing going on here.
Christopher.
Yeah, it's like she's loud, she's confrontational, no problems being a
She was a hooah.
She was a hooah,
A hooah.
and she's fine with it.
A hooah.
Um,
Good for her.
yeah, you know what? She's high class. Okay, this movie, I'll just go ahead and preface this now, is everything that Pretty Woman tried to be, couldn't be. Just gotta say it right there, you know. Pretty Woman is terrible. This is like Pretty Woman, but like disappointing, and I like that. So it's like modern dressing Pretty Woman. So anyway, so she's in the club, she's doing her thing, she's making money, doing salacious things. And
Doing
then-
sex.
Doing sex and stuff. Yeah. So you have the guy who, again, I'm sorry for all the Sopranos references I have, but he looks like what the fuck is his name? Hold on. It's right there. You know the guy that owns the titty bar? He's got the hair and the face. Something with an S.
Sal?
Nope.
Just throw out stereotypical names.
Christopher?
Nope.
Christopher.
Okay.
Dude, you have the
I have a
internet.
computer. I'm sorry.
Go to the internet.
You know, I will not be
What are you
phoning my
relying on us
Silvio.
for?
Okay, I'm sorry. I just, you know, I thought wrong. I'm sorry. Let me take a look
Silvio
here.
Dante?
Silvio, thank you so much. Wow, you did that faster than I could. So Silvio, he looks basically just like that guy. And then he basically tells her, he's like, hey, you know, like Russian or some shit. Yeah, I love that. Nice. You know, like Russian or some shit. So you should go talk to these people. Like they just came in, they're really fucking rich. Go talk to them. She's all like, yeah, okay, fine. But like she immigrated here when she was 3. So her Russian is like kind of like when I say that I can speak Spanish, her Russian is kind of like right there. Which I would totally be telling people like, oh yeah, I speak Russian or whatever, if I could get away with it. So it's not like, again, back to Confessions of a Shopaholic where
I was just gonna say that!
yeah, where she's like, oh, lies about being from Finland because nobody checks up on Finland.
Nobody checks up on Finland.
Yeah, so she, like, they checked up on Russia and she knew her Russian, so good for her. But like at the same time, I couldn't help myself. I went on Reddit and I was like, what do people think?
Mike took Russian in high school.
Oh,
Duh.
nice. Well, let me know what
Someone
you
checked
think.
up on Russian.
Let me know what you think because I looked it up on Reddit and like, so of course you have all these people, all these like they're like, oh my god, Mikey Madison, she learned Russian for the role and blah blah blah, and people are all like, bullshit, she didn't learn shit, she read it off a script, like it wasn't all that good, it was barely intelligible from the people who actually speak. So do with that what you will. Yeah. So she meets a guy. It's like a nice young guy. He's like 21. And his name is Vanya. Russian name. Can confirm?
Mhm.
Okay, great. Awesome. So he's like 21. He loves the US. Like so excited to be in the US with the strippers and shit. Like it's a party all the time for this guy. He apparently some kind of son of a Russian oligarch, so he could just kind of do whatever the fuck he wants.
Oh, he
They
can
do
have
be
a
doing
good time.
And he's
Yeah.
doing it, and he's doing it, and he wants to do it with Anora. So they meet.
Do it or do it.
Well, see, this is the thing. They
Nah.
don't cut to the chase when they first meet. They're like, Amy, Russian, and it's like a lot of sexual tension. And then he goes like, oh, you should come over for this party I'm having, or yada yada. And she's like, okay, I'm a stripper. Yeah, so she's like, I'll totally do that. So then they like exchange cards or phone numbers, whatever. So she goes to this party, and I'll just make a long story short. Like, people are doing drugs, it's a party, it's a thing. And he says to her, want to go upstairs? It's like, she just got here. Like, what happened to hi, how are you? What is the hourly rate? I guess he didn't even care.
You know, what's the hourly rate?
I would like
What is
to
the
know.
hourly rate?
Again,
Hello,
another,
hi, how are you? What is your hourly rate?
see, that's more like
Do
it.
you have a rate sheet I could look at? I need to see your rate sheet.
Do you take American Express?
Another fucking, just swipe the pussy. Another thing that I was just like thinking about that I couldn't help myself, but like, now that we're talking about this, but like, I keep going down these Reddit like rabbit holes, and one of them that I did go down, not the girl, posted on what is where she like boyfriend's phone. Not a good thing to do, ladies. Don't do it. I don't.
Bad boundaries.
But you should not do it because you're going to be really disappointed with what you find. But anyway, she looks through it and she sees there's like these weird encrypted messages, and she asks the internet, she's like, what are these? And a long story short is there messages, strippers, that are like in a code that like tells you what their hourly rate is, but it's based off cum shots.
Do they have a decoder ring?
I don't know. I'm not a prostitute. I'm not a sex worker. No offense. No shade. No shade.
Sex worker, actually.
Okay. My apologies. Prostitute, sex worker, whatever the verbiage is. It's all fine by
Back
me.
to the cum shot? It's based on cum shot?
Yes. So okay. See, I was like, what the fuck? I thought this was like an hourly thing. It was something like pumps per hour. That's how they make this. So it's not just like, oh, like
That's a terrible price structure.
It's not good.
That's a terrible price structure.
So if you do like 2 to 3 busts within an hour, you don't get unlimited busts in an hour. Is what they're getting at. You have to bust a certain amount of times, otherwise you gotta pay the money, which makes sense because like
I don't know.
You know, the eyes, the hair,
That's
the makeup.
Terrible deal.
Bad business model.
Hey, whatever. I don't know if it works for them. But anyway, that's something you can research on your own independently. Back to Anora.
Shots.
Take your time. Take your time. So I'm just gonna like skip forward. Vanya is a fucking 21-year-old. He's an asshole. He like doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself. Is rich. Like, why would he?
He would have taken the bribe. Yeah.
Yeah, he would have, absolutely. So like, you as the viewer are like, red flag, red flag, red flag. And besides taking away behaviors that I exhibited in some of my exes in the past, I clearly saw that he was a red flag. But Anora,
well, it's easy from the outside.
That's what I'm saying. If from a third party view, it's like a eagle's eye thing. You know, you're like,
girl.
Yeah,
maybe,
but we're getting that. We're getting to that. So she's like, you know what? He's rich, and this is my ticket out. So she like, you see over the movie, she's slowly convincing herself, I like this guy. No, like, I actually like this guy. But there's nothing to like about this guy. Like, maybe he's funny sometimes, but he's not. Okay, I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, is he one of those guys that tries too hard to be funny and you just smell the wood burning as they're trying to come up with the punchline?
As an oligarch's son, he's probably like, nobody's gonna tell him he's not funny, so he's just
they pay him to laugh.
Somebody who thinks he's funny, like, yeah.
I will give him this, that there is a language disconnect. So like him kind of, there's comedy moments there where the dialect doesn't match up and they misunderstand each other, which I thought was very natural in some scenes. Like they played up
like the
difference in
the language barrier.
Yeah, so like I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe even if he dramatic in the language that spoken all his life, in terms of personality, I don't think there's even a difference. Just not charismatic, which is funny because seeing some interviews that the actor did around this, promo shit, they called him charismatic, like character. And in no way, I felt like, are we watching the same movie? Like, he's not charismatic at all. So I don't even know. Maybe that's something that
Maybe that was a really polite insult.
fucking.
They're like, yeah, he's as
Backhanded
charismatic
compliment.
as the character.
Well, I mean, the guy, I'm sure is fine. I'm sure he's a fine guy, whatever. But the character is just like, insufferable, if you ask me. So of course he's got money, so that's why she's hanging around. Long story short, bro is like, yeah, America, yeah, I want to stay here forever, but my parents won't let me. They get a bright idea, let's go get married. So they go to Vegas, they go get married. It's a whole thing. She moved into a fancy mansion that's not really his. Like, they make it a point throughout this whole thing because he's got these two handlers. The two handlers constantly remind him that, like, not your stuff, it's your parents' stuff. This is not your money, it's your parents' money, etc., etc. So, like, you don't even really find out exactly, like, what is he doing in the U.S. It just seems like he's in the U.S. to party. Like, that's all the fuck he does is do drugs, play video games, and fuck.
It's his Rumspringer.
Yes, I guess so. And I guess they don't mind. Like, as the Russian oligarch family, you get to see them later. I feel like they don't care. Like, America is the playground that you go to. You don't embarrass us in our country. You go embarrass us in America because nobody gives a fuck, I think is the vibe. So, but they don't want him to stay there, for obvious reasons, right? Because I get maybe public image, who knows. So his parents find out eventually that he got married, and they're pissed. So they tell the handlers, "You better fucking fix this, because he can't be married." And then also too, that not only is he married, he's married to a prostitute, because like they
Right.
know who she is. So
Well, that's good marketing. Good for her.
so
Yeah.
So after she like immediately moves into this place and is content, she's like, "Oh, this is my life now. Fucking, I thank God I made it. You know, I have my stupid ass husband. I just hang around while he plays Xbox. It's awesome." And so then she like, I don't know, she separates from him for a second. Like, I don't know if she goes upstairs or they get into a fight or something like that. But they separate from each other in the same house because, hello, it's a fucking man. And the handlers come in and they're all like, "Where is she? We're getting this marriage annulled." And there's like a huge fight. Anora is like getting physical with these handler guys. It's like a whole scene. It gets to the point where they have to tie her up in a chair. Like, she is so not down with the plan. She's like, "This is my husband. You guys don't understand." And they're like, "No, lady, you don't understand. You don't know this guy. He's a prick. I don't know why you want to marry him. And his parents are never going to let this happen. It's not ever going to happen." She's like, "I don't,
Right.
you could hide, you could run, you could do whatever you want. It's not happening." Get you. Because this is their fucking jobs, you know? He's literally watching this kid. So
Human disposal.
yeah, they have this whole thing. It's like a gut punch. It's a gut punch to Anora. Really upset. And it gets to the point where but it's not his parents. I think it's just his mom. Comes because it's just his mother, and she's like scary. She's like very intimidating. She's very scary. Anora doesn't even care. She's all like, "You don't understand. We love each other. Doesn't matter." She like confronts the mother, and the mother is like, "You are a prostitute. Absolutely nothing to not just us, but to anyone. And this is not happening. And if you try to get it to happen, like, basically, they threaten her, you know." So she just kind of gives up. And then, so one of the handlers is this like younger guy. It's clear that like from the point of where they had the conflict with Anora, where they tied her up with a scarf and everything, that he's like in her. But I mean, she's like conventionally attractive. Like, I don't see, like, hello, have you seen Mikey Madison? I think like if you'd be, you know, who's not gonna be interested, all right? So, and this guy is like low-key a little creepy with her, but meets up with her later to give her back at least the ring that Vanya gave her. So And it was like a sweet gesture that he did. But during this like car exchange, I couldn't help but notice there's like a 1-to-1 scene split in that movie with the guy with the different personalities. They get into the car. It's like that moment first get into the car with each other, and she realizes that that's not her dad in the driver's seat. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah.
They shot that 1-for-1 in the Anora, but with this guy who's trying to give her back the. Which I kind of like gaslit myself. I was like, that scene was so fucking similar. But like, no. They didn't mean to do that. They did mean to do that. I looked it up later. They shot it 1-for-1, so I thought. But this guy is really not trying to be weird. Trying to be nice to her, and then she like doesn't even know how to react. So to thank him for giving her the engagement ring, she fucks him. Because obviously, well, she's like not married anymore, so it's totally fine, I guess. And so, that's basically the movie. I summed it up right there.
Neat. So it ends with her the thank you sex?
With the guy who's awkward. So win for the incels. You guys can do it out there.
You summed that up in like 17 seconds.
Thank you. I mean, to be honest, the movie is like, it's a lot of sex and partying and drugs and sex and partying and drugs and Vanya being an asshole to Anora and Anora being very sweet and trying to really put time and effort into the relationship, and him just being like, nah, bitch. But then also being like, oh, but I love you and I want a green card. Well, you know, like that.
Yeah, exactly.
All throughout the movie. While also doing drugs, while also fucking hard and crazy, might I add.
Sick.
So, yeah, like, and it's long, and it's, like I said, it's good. I recommend you watch it. I know I spoiled it. But my first time watching this, I've seen it twice. My first time watching this, it was a real gut punch. Like, the divorce part, forcing the divorce on her. She was selling that shit. Like, she really loved this dude. And it's like, pick yourself up. Get up, girl.
She probably loved the idea of freedom, like the freedom that she would be gaining. Like,
oh, I'm sure of it. Bro was loaded. Like, that mansion was crazy.
Yeah. Like, you don't have to charge per cum shot ever again.
True.
Like,
Again,
know, like you could
model.
just throw away that price structure right there.
But that's what's the worst part, is she has to go back to all of that, having tasted a life of luxury and freedom.
Yeah.
Now having to return.
Now she knows what she's missing.
Yeah, and also too, she like told everybody at the strip club, like, I'm Cinderella, bitch. Like, I'm out of here. Fuck all of you. Everybody was
that's
jealous because everybody knew exactly what was going on. But now she has to go crawling back.
Taste that humility.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. If I were to actually compare it to Pretty Women, which this has already been done, like, probably, I imagine, because, like, I'm drawing similar to fucking, I can't even imagine how many people have. But, like, that movie, like, Julia Roberts is, like, kind of self-deprecating. Like, she is that bitch. Like, she's very intellectual, but she plays herself down. This is kind of the opposite, where, like, Anora is super fucking hot, but that's it. I'm sorry. Like, in terms of, like, she's a very full, like, rounded out character. She's interesting. But in terms of, like, what
she brings to the table.
Yeah, like, what makes her unique? You don't really discover it. Maybe she doesn't even know it herself. Who knows? But, like, at the same time,
she collects spoons.
Yeah. I guess she's got all this confidence because she's hot. She's got a hot body. Like, nice, you know, cool. But other than that, like, why are you so the way you are?
Huh. Well, I mean, like, money
she's
talks.
from Jersey.
She's from Jersey.
Yeah. And, like, back again, one more time with the Pretty Woman. This will be my last reference. But the guy from that movie, right? He, like, was kind of a good guy. I mean, a little, like, more. I don't know. Okay, the part that really fucked me up with that movie is with his girlfriend and immediately started a relationship with a sex worker, I kind of thought that
Yeah.
was crazy. That's a red flag.
One hell of a rebound.
But he was like at least cultured shit and like trying to show her a better life, whatever the fuck that means. But like Vanya just, oh, he did all of this for himself. It was literally all about him. She was an accessory.
Yeah, Pretty Woman is a feel-good movie too. So
It was
it's
a
very
feel
much.
bad movie.
Well, you felt bad after watching it,
Sure did.
but like, it doesn't paint sex workers in a very positive light. Like, it's something to escape from, and the only way to escape from is if you're a knight in shining armor to
Exactly.
be
You
a
get
rich
white knighted.
businessman that right out. Yeah,
Mhm.
that takes the agency out of it because you're just relying on that savior to come with his fat wad of hundreds and his magnum condoms for his monster dong.
Random condoms for his monster dong. Yeah. It's interesting. Like that's a really interesting point too, that it's like they do paint it in such a negative way, like something that you need to escape from, but like some sex workers like doing it. Like it's totally okay.
I mean,
Sex work is work.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
true. I also like what they did here with a lot of the drugs. You can kind of see the parallels here as to where she uses drugs honestly to escape from stuff, and he uses drugs obviously to just fuck around and have a good time. And it tends to be that way with like a lot of the stuff. She doesn't. It's very poignant. She doesn't voluntarily imbibe in drugs or alcohol up until the point where she's going to have to perform kind of, which I thought was really
Hmm.
poignant, and that's why like for sex work, drug addiction problem, because obviously
Mm.
in it to get to the next, gotta go to the next one, gotta do the next thing.
Right.
It makes it a lot easier, much tolerable.
Tolerable. Yeah. So many layers.
So many layers. Onion.
Like
A
an
hot, sexy
onion.
onion.
A hot, sexy onion. That price structure is different. It's priced by the layer.
Priced by the tear that you cry when you peel the layers.
Hey, now that's a fluid. That's extra.
Yeah.
Any fluid.
Oh my gosh. Huh. I didn't expect that movie to be summed up so easily.
Well, I mean,
I figured it would be, well, not that quick. That was very succinct in a good way. I figured it would be less detailed because it seemed like a, for lack of a better term, artsy, where there's a lot of cinematic things happening that is very visual, like very much watching something unfold that's not necessarily important to the plot, but it's just like building up the scenery so you can chew on it a little bit.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
very curious to find what this sex worker code is, and I was just trying to see if I could find it. But of course, it's Reddit. Like I would actually have to swim through this shit. But I mean, because I'm trying to. Now, the more I think about it, the more I'm trying to make sense of it. I'll put it
It's a
somewhere in
bad
here.
deal.
I mean, I guess to me, I didn't think it sounded too crazy because, like, okay, if you fucking charge $100, you're gonna need some sex workers. You charge $100. That's pretty cheap. And I'm just saying, if you charge $100 for like an hour, right? And you gotta have sex like a lot of times an hour, like, and then you charge per cum. Well, then, like, let's say you get this guy who just like low-key wants attention or whatever. He just comes the one time. Well, then you hour and then whatever. But like, if you get some sex maniac who's like, oh yeah, I want to come like 5 different times in a span of an hour, then it's like, well, then that's more money than you made in the hour than you would have if you just were like, yeah, come unlimited.
Yeah,
Sex
but
maniac.
you're leaving it up to chance genetics.
I mean,
I would
either way,
assume
you're
that-
spending an hour with the guy.
but I would think that more often than not, one who would be purchasing the services would be enough of a degen that they may not even bust in the hour, because
Right.
it's just like it takes way more to get their rocks off.
Can you imagine?
So that's what, do you just not charge them for the hour because they didn't bust?
No, because you still charge them for the hour. Even if they
Oh, like you get a
15
base? Is
minutes,
that like a bonus? Like a bonus tier?
Oh, wait. Hold on. This is different. So there's still hourly rate, but then there's bonus monies per com shop.
Yeah, of course. That's the thing. The
Oh,
more
that's-
you come, the more you
Oh,
come,
okay.
the more you
that
horse of a
pay.
different
changes
color.
things. Yes,
That's
yes,
what I'm
that's
saying.
a
So
very
you have
white
an
horse.
hour. You have an hour, and you come in a couple times during an hour, but then you have
Yeah.
to pay more than the guy that came the one time during an hour. Of course, you gotta pay.
Right, because you were made extra happy.
And then
Okay.
I think it's also
makes more
with
sense.
placement. That was like an extra thing.
Placement. Huh?
I was like, I don't
Complacency.
I don't understand this. This like valet parking
Well,
for your cum shot. It's
No,
very
I mean,
strange.
like, well, I feel like that's fucking valid. Because, like, some people really want to fucking shoot it in weird ass fucking places. Like, be like, it's different. Like, stomach versus eyeball. That's a different fucking price structure. Like,
If
Your
honestly,
whole-
if you let the eyeball happen, that's you're gonna be out of work for at least a week because that eyeball.
well, you just be a little blinky.
That's not gonna work. That thing will
That-
swell up.
Well, then you have to convince the next guy to do the other eye, so you can at least have it.
Just be evened out.
Yeah.
But like, what
Like,
if your pimp just
placement
lets
makes
you
sense
take
to me.
time off? Like your pimp doesn't offer PTO. Then what are you gonna?
Well, then you don't have to worry about it because
He
you
might-
get 2 black eyes anyway.
gonna make you work like that?
You better work, bitch.
That's great.
Yeah, no. See, I get the placement thing because for sure there'd be different prices for different places.
I mean, in the hair, that would be a serious problem because like I gotta go see the next guy, and he already sees cum in my hair. There's all like, if I run my fingers through my hair and it gets caught, I'm gonna be pissed. That's terrible.
No. Mike is awfully quiet.
Knows it.
No, yeah.
Anything to
no.
add at this point would just incriminate myself, so I plead the fifth.
Yeah, this episode was a ruse.
It was a sting operation.
It was a sting operation.
Actually, a Rico.
Yeah, just to get my weird proclivities of where I like to shoot my load.
Because, out of everyone on the planet that wants to know that, clearly your cousin's at the top of the list.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. We're not from a flyover state.
Oh, God.
No. Yeah, no, yeah. So that's Hua pricing and also Cinderella story of sorts. But then, it got Uno reversed pretty fucking hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough indeed.
I feel like it's one of the stepsisters' stories, because she thinks she's gonna make it big. Then
She's
it
like,
just
yes,
comes
I
right back down.
did it!
Yeah.
Nope, didn't do it.
That's very poignant. Actually.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but stop thinking. Like I've been thinking about it this whole time, and I really distracted myself, quite honestly, while Mike was talking about your movie. Well, yeah. Spiral staircases. There's more stairs. There's just more stairs. You're going the same amount, and you get more stairs with a spiral staircase.
Yes.
Yes.
That's terrible.
Yeah, they're inefficient
It's
as
space
fuck.
saving.
It's space
No.
saving.
Yeah. It's inefficient in terms of like stair to height ratio, but if you have like a 5x5 area where you need to make stairs up to like the 9th floor, it's probably easier to get a spiral staircase
Well-
in that zone.
Yeah. Case in point, lighthouses. But like,
Yes.
I'm talking like energy inefficient. Like you have to spend so much more energy to get up that distance.
I mean, can I get a
Oh, so
many
fireman
stairs.
pole to come down? Because that's the only way that would make sense.
I
You
mean,
could.
you not in a lighthouse, but somewhere else
That's
possibly.
fair. Yeah, I would need one. I climb all those.
Know what
Yeah.
I
kind
want
of
to at least
lighthouses
wee all
you've
the way
been in.
down.
Yeah, I've been in 1.5. 1.5 lighthouses.
I think we've probably been in the same lighthouses,
Yes,
or at least
probably.
one of the lighthouse.
Yeah. I made it all the way up the Fire Island Lighthouse, but I did not make it up the Montauk Lighthouse without getting scared and turning around. I don't like
Oh, I've
heights.
only. Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah, so like getting up that, I
That'd be
was
tough.
like, this sucks. This sucks. But also, like, spiral staircases are really fucking bad for if you have a fire, because, like, the firemen can't get up there efficiently. So,
Burn a
like,
lot of
toodaloo, second floor.
Well, yeah, it's just a terrible idea. I don't agree with it. I think it's bad. Outlaw the spiral
It's a
staircase.
lifestyle choice, and I don't agree with
they
it.
look cool. I think they look cool. Same.
I think
They
they
look
look cool.
What about? Well, I guess that's fantasy. Never mind. I was gonna say, what about steampunk? Steampunk people like spiral staircases.
They also like steam-powered giraffe, and I don't agree with that either.
I don't know
You
what
say
that
steam
means.
powered giraffe?
I don't know what that means.
As a like outfit.
Oh, you're right.
Like a barbershop quartet?
That's exactly correct, except steampunk. Make a steampunk. Actually, they got
Like
a
a
couple songs that-
barbershop quartet with gears?
Yes. And I think maybe Honeybee is not that bad of a song. But like they do covers. Like I think they did Honest Diamonds. That made me
Isn't Honeybee Unknown Mortal Orchestra?
I do not know. But I do know that they covered it. I have no idea. They do a lot of covers.
Right.
So I would not be surprised.
Interesting.
I don't know how they get their makeup so consistent. It's the same every
Practice.
single time. That's just steampunk hats off to you, sir.
Maybe they have stencils.
Shit.
That would
I
make
need
things
that.
easier.
Oh my god. I need some of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
maybe
makeup
I'll
gun.
just do steampunk makeup from now on. The whole
I gotta Google it. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what I did. It's like Jen said,
Whoa.
we have access to a computer. I'm using it.
That's true. That is
Technology.
true. I was just using it for GIF
Yeah.
backgrounds. Oh, some of that's spoopy. I don't like it. I don't like it.
What if I do my makeup
I don't
like
like
that,
it.
Courtney?
I mean, you know, I support you in all of your endeavors, but I will also tell you that I don't like it. Be like, you know, you have every right to do this, and I love that you're doing it. However, your face is hard to look at right now.
Damn, everyone needs a Courtney. Maybe she'll tell me.
You're like, I'm not loving your face at this present moment. Oh yeah, that's a spiral staircase nightmare. Oh, look at those
Sick.
fat little giants. Little fat little guys. Little big fat fatties. They remind me of like those like contemporary statues that people put in their homes. Look at those guys. Those guys. Oh.
Scary.
Oh.
Something on the
understand that
wind.
reference. That gave me nightmares as a child.
That's fair.
He looks
That-
like the guy that Squidward
What the
finds
fuck?
in that junk.
Is that a chicken with a six-pack?
Yes. What else do I got in here? I don't recall putting them in here. It's pretty alright. is pretty alright. I'm in danger. It's fine. Everything's fine. But you know, I'm
Good
gonna
one.
just go back to my guy.
Mm.
Scotty.
If your jaw isn't out 6 inches, you're not doing it.
A place where blame.
You
Oh.
tell me right now he doesn't look like Lord Farquaad a little bit in that.
Bro is the Crimson Chin.
At least at that. Oh.
Well, folks, looks like we ran out of time. We're running out of film. Film is very expensive.
Oh god, the film.
Super
With
expensive.
the film. Oh jeez. Our producers are telling us to cut the tape.
I see a rap sign being hung up.
There's a hook. Yeah, we work for YouTube and they said stop.
It's true, we do.
We work for YouTube. Well, thanks for coming to So I Saw a Movie, where we saw some movies and then we told you about it. Thanks for being our special guest. Like, you're our special boy.
It was a very fun time, and I enjoy being special.
Yay! Special fun times.
Ooh, do you have any closing statements?
Me?
Yes.
When life gets you down, please juggle some balls.
Hey, sponsored by Nerf.
It's not weird, it's not. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
It's
their
Nerf
tagline. That's it.
normal. Well, oh my god. Oh, there he goes. He's gone.